Draymond Green has now officially became the leader for Defensive Player of the Year. Now, obviously, as we know, Victor Wembanyama was running away with the award. And then Evan Mobley stepped in when Victor Wembanyama went down, and he seemed like the front runner. But now Draymond Green has made a shocking rise up the Defensive Player of the Year charts and is now the favorite with a 74% chance of picking up his second Defensive Player of the Year. Mobley's at 43%, and Dyson Daniels is third. And then you have Triple J and Lou Dort that are in the conversation. But fellas, talk to me about how y'all feel about Draymond Green before we go into further details.
Well, he campaigned for it, you know. He did his thing. He did right with campaigning for it during post-game interviews and whatnot. So,
you know, he's a minus 130 on Fox Sports.
What about Triple J, Ron? He was never in the.
He was in it. He's like 4th or 5th right now.
And are you speaking on the poll right now? Y'all are speaking on the poll that Draymond is the front runner?
Well, I'm looking at the odds, and the odds are saying that. I'm checking Vegas Insider now. On FanDuel, he's a minus 105. Evan Mobley's a minus 115. But overall, like Draymond has near 1A, 1B odds to win DPOY right now, basically, which is interesting given he was not in the conversation at all up until last week.
Right, but he wasn't in the conversation even after Wemby got
Remember
hurt.
What he did last week?
But you know, that's why I said, Ron, he campaigned for it. You know,
not just that though. Last week when he held Giannis to
yeah, but the game before that, Aaron Gordon went in his head. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Look, this is truly pivoting on a narrative. He wasn't even top 3 prior to the Giannis game, and then we're a week later, and then he's leading in terms of the betting odds to win DPOY. Some of this is because people don't think that Evan Mobley and JJJ have been all that great defensively this year. You know,
it's actually been because what happened with Mobley when he played against the Clippers, when Leonard went after him, and then a couple of games before that when they played against Boston and Jason Tatum.
JJJ also got but Mobley went at JJJ too a couple weeks ago.
But it happens. Great defensive players, to Ox's point, great defensive players get cooked. Bigs get dunked on. It happens. But how did you affect your unit? And I understand the Draymond logic. Don't forget, early in the season, I think the first month and a half of the season, Golden State was a top 3 defense in the league. And Draymond had a lot to do with that.
Chill. LeBron has a better case for MVP than Draymond does for Defensive Player of the Year.
No, okay.
And I'm not going to argue that.
That's gas. You're going to argue that. Chill. No, you're going to argue that. That's gas.
No, he's not going to argue that.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not, because here's why I swipe up. Because
LeBron's not even top 7, by the way, in the race. So like, not even a conversation. Draymond at least has a conversation for top 5.
Here's the thing, though, swipe up. Like from that first month and a half, when I think the Warriors started the season, they were like 12-3. They were rolling. They were at the top of the league in defense. I think they were the second or third best defense in the league. Draymond had a lot to do with that, right? As the quarterback of that defense, with guys like Gary Payton and Moody, these are the guys that he's quarterbacking, and they're holding teams to 105, and Draymond's being Draymond. He's not as athletic as he used to be. But then they hit a slide because Curry was the only one who was scoring, and because that was taking a lot out of everybody else, their defense faltered. That didn't take away from what Draymond was as a defender, though. Draymond was still awesome as a defender. I'm not going to argue that point. He was awesome as a defender. Mobley, on the other hand, been awesome all year long, and he's had somebody to enhance him being awesome. That's Jared Allen.
What?
Draymond doesn't have that.
Well, first off, Draymond has a litany of defenders on that roster. The Warriors have been a good defensive team all year. But right now, the Warriors have the 7th. They have the 7th best adjusted defense in the NBA. But this is what I'm trying to understand. What happened to Zubac this year? He's anchoring the 2nd best defense in the league this year. Rudy Gobert, he's anchoring the 5th best defense in the NBA this year. But the only reason Rudy's not going to win is narratives. Because Rudy has had an incredible defensive year, and especially once Julius Randle figured out how he's supposed to play basketball this year, Rudy has legitimately been incredible, and especially like since he's come back from injury. Now he's missed too many games. That's going to be a part of the conversation with Rudy, but I just think in large part, like I'm good. Like Draymond's still an elite defender, but like I'm telling you, like I've been watching this, he hasn't even sniffed top 3 for most of this year.
Swiper, since the All-Star break, And before y'all get mad at me, I'm just stating the facts. I'm not necessarily saying Draymond should win it. I'm just saying that he has skyrocketed up the Defensive Player of the Year rankings. But since the All-Star break, him and Jimmy Butler are the second best defensive duo in the league. Or no, they're the best defensive duo in the league. Since the All-Star break, they have the best defense or second best defense in the league. So it's just kind of
what we can't do, Ron. What we can't do, Ron, is we can't use that. He wasn't in the race at this time, but now all of a sudden he's in the race. I'm listening to you dudes tell me LeBron James, before he got hurt, is first team All-Pro. He wasn't first team All-Pro 2 months ago.
What?
He was 17-7. No, he was not first team All-Pro.
Who said
2 months
first team
ago.
All-Pro?
I did.
Penn said that.
Penn did.
One person.
When he was 17-7 and he was washed and he was over. JJ Redick is now in the Coach of the Year conversation when he was a gimmick 2 months ago. When they made a mistake, he was a podcaster. He's not a good coach. Now he's in the Coach of the Year. So guys enter that. You can make that face all you want, Swiper. But guys enter conversation.
How is he in the Coach of the Year conversation?
How is he in the Coach of the Year conversation? I don't
There's
know.
Only three names, and there's only three names that are running away with it, by the way.
Did I not just hear maybe like 2 weeks ago when the Lakers were rolling? I think that they had won like 9 out of 10, and JJ Redick was now in the Coach of the Year conversation.
For Kendrick
that
Perkins.
was going on.
For Kendrick Perkins.
That was going on.
For Kendrick Perkins.
Why does Kenny
Atkinson is running? Kenny Atkinson is going to run away with the rule, or he's going to be Detroit head coach and Bickerstaff.
You was trying to make a case for Jordy Fernandez.
Yes, based on basketball. Yes, 100%.
All right, bro. So come on, bro.
So this is the issue. This is the issue. I think whatever this in the conversation thing. When I'm cool with Draymond being in this. So there's been 16 games, y'all, played. Since the All-Star break.
For JJ
so
too?
There's been 16 games played since the All-Star break. So I'm going to 15. That's just the easiest filter to get to. The Pistons have the first best defense. The Warriors have the second. The Rockets have the third. The Bucks have the fourth. OKC has the fifth. And I guess what I'm saying is like, because the reason why narrative have to be part of this Draymond thing is before that, Evan Mobley, JJJ, and whoever, I don't know whoever you're going to put. To me, this speaks more about how people are saying Evan Mobley and JJJ are playing as defenders this year. That even though they're on winning teams that have been winning all year, they've been the defensive anchors of winning teams all year. So they're just not that impressive this season, which I'm cool with because they've been really good this year. But like, if you don't think they're DPOY, I mean, that's why this conversation is even opening up. Because I think for Draymond to get that boost after the Giannis game in particular, because that's when it went viral on Twitter. It's like, oh, look what he did to Giannis. Like he held him to his worst shooting performance of the year. And then everything kind of shifted. And I'm saying, I just don't think that's fair personally to like JJJ and Evan and them, but cool, whatever. I mean, it's not like
what about Dyson? What about Dyson Daniels? I haven't heard his name yet.
I think it's hard for guards to win that award,
Yeah,
Just
harder
doesn't mean
not-
they
harder
don't
not-
deserve it.
But I think Dyson Daniel not anchoring a top 10 defense even is going to hurt.
That's going to be
Okay,
a problem.
I'll give
Atlanta's
you
19th in the league in defense, I think.
I'll
Something
tell
like
you that there are 4 players that probably win this award if they could qualify for the award,
Chris
but
Dunn.
they won't because of the narrative and because of the cutoff of numbers. Alex Caruso deserves some love in this conversation. Asar Thompson deserves some serious love in this conversation. Chet Holmgren deserves some love in this conversation.
He would win. iHeart does. J-Dub does. They have a few players.
And Victor Wembanyama would win this award.
Just give the whole OKC team the award.
They have about 5 players.
I just want to say this. Draymond Green, if you won, this is a participation DPOY.
It would be more of a legacy because he's been in the league for as long as he's been in the league.
If your legacy is participation trophies, then yes.
But I mean, where we are with Draymond, we're in what are we in year 13 with him? I mean, this says a lot for Draymond to be in year 13 and to even be in this conversation. When's the last time Draymond Green was in the defensive?
He put himself in this conversation. He wasn't in this conversation.
You're right, Payne. Like you're right, because narratives never happen to sway voters to.
He never said it was wrong. He just said that's what happened.
Literally lost a freaking MVP because of a narrative. Okay. So I'm personally sick and tired of ESPN adding a megaphone to any person who has a controversial take about a major end of season award, because we know that these voters are going to swing.
But
we know
do you feel like people can accurately judge what defensive value is at that level? And I'm not maybe local. I think I give local people a lot of love. They have to watch everything all the time. But I'm saying that like national people, they just like Stephen A. Smith, the rest of them. And again, this is out of respect. They have a lot of stuff they have to do every day. Like, they don't get a chance to sit there and watch film every day. They have to do 4 to 5 shows a day. And then they have to have notes prepared for those shows. And then they have to talk about a litany of different topics, including NFL stuff. So, like, this is not to be hard on them, but I'm saying, like, do we think people actually have the ability to go, hey, let me cut up the defensive clips. Let me actually watch what's happening on the court. Let me evaluate, like, who's doing what. Because that's why, Mars, I've watched a lot of Wolves, since January. Like, they're probably, of all the teams I watched, they might be the team I watched the third most, which is why I've come away how I feel about Ant this year and how I feel about Rudy this year and how I feel about Nickeil Alexander-Walker this year. I'm saying Rudy Gobert has been spectacular among all the bigs, among all players getting 30-plus minutes a game. He's the only one in the top 5 in terms of what the team, how good they are defensively when he's on the court. That's an actual center.
Let's keep it to Jonathan Isaac.
Well, he's not.
Why not?
For many
Okay,
different reasons.
not enough minutes. Screw it.
Wait a minute.
62 minutes.
Oh,
We don't.
I don't mind.
We don't know. We don't know if he's ever going to qualify again.
He's in Orlando.
No, I'm trying to think.
62 points. 62 games played. He's going to make the 65-game cutoff. He probably not going to make the 65
Has he played? He's playing 20 minutes a game, no, Penn. That's the other.
And
thing.
in 20 minutes per game, he's providing like
I don't even know if he's
45
playing 20
minutes of
minutes.
defensive value. Okay,
Mars think he's the best defensive player in NBA history in the 20 minutes that he played.
You don't need to play 20
He said
minutes.
that last year. He
We're
said
playing
he's
like
not
17. Like, that's basically 20. Like,
No, that's not basically
round up.
nothing. Well, first off, if you're going to be nasty and advocate for somebody because of that, you really need to be advocating for Chris Dunn. He's not going to make first team this year because of the minutes thing.
I think the minutes thing is stupid, but Jonathan Isaac
24
is my
minutes per
guy,
game.
so I'm perfectly fine with Jonathan.
No.
Isaac.
He's 6 on the team in terms of defensive rating when he's on the court. No, I'm good. Gary Harris, number 1.
Pretty confident.
Yeah, they put Jonathan Isaac out.
Give
there.
Avita Zubac some love as well.
I think
What-
Zeus
what-
deserves
what-
a lot
what-
of credit, man.
What does
Me
the
too.
minutes thing
I
mean?
agree.
Like, do you have to have a certain amount of minutes that you play in order to be the defensive player of the year?
You have to have a certain amount of games over 20
65
minutes.
I already know
played,
I already know the
20
games
minutes
part,
more.
but the minutes.
20 minutes per. You have to have 20 minutes played in 65 games. Yeah, that's the second part of the rule. 20 minutes played.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I agree. It's just tough though because like
That's
I
almost
think the
half of
players
each
should have-
quarter.
You playing
Is that not fair?
14, 15 minutes a game, bro. I'm not. You're not
Yeah.
getting no award.
Because 20 plus minutes, that's almost half of each quarter that you're playing. I can get with that, sure.
Yeah,
I
100.
think the reason I don't
Okay.
agree with it, and I might be wrong, but I think, and it's somewhere close. I think Dante DiVincenzo didn't make the cut for most improved last year because he didn't play 20 minutes in 65 games, but he averaged like 27 minutes a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Well,
that
most
doesn't-
improved.
that's
Wait a
stupid to
minute.
me.
One more
Yeah,
time.
I think most improved could be a little.
So he didn't play 65
Last
games.
year, and Knicks fans might remember, Dante DiVincenzo played basically the whole season,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
but he wasn't eligible for postseason awards, so most improved, which is probably the one he would have had the best chance of winning, because he didn't play 20 minutes in 65 games,
Mm-hmm.
but he averaged 29 minutes a game.
But it has to be
average-
games.
Tibbs screws over a player.
Yeah,
because he
individual
didn't play
games. You have to have
enough minutes.
65
That's
individual games of 20 minutes or more.
Yeah, so he played a bunch of games, just really heavy minutes.
Yes, but then
Yeah,
some
yeah,
minutes
Tibbs
with no
player
minutes
does,
at all.
yes.
Yeah, some games
Gotcha.
with no minutes at all.
Yeah, I mean that's but the thing about that though is for an award like that, like Rookie of the Year, Most Improved, one of those type of awards, I don't think it should be that. Like you know what I mean? Because you could be a bench player or a 7-6 man or whatever coming off the bench, you get Most Improved. I think for that type of award, maybe not, but for DPOY, MVP, you know, that type of award, I think.
Has Draymond this season, in the 24-25 season, has Draymond affected his defense? Not just him as an individual. Has he affected the Warriors' defense more than Evan Mobley has affected the Cavs' defense? Has he affected their defense more than Dyson Daniels has affected Atlanta's defense? Has Draymond done that?
Yes,
He's been better than Dyson. He's been better than Dyson.
Yeah,
I don't think he's been better.
Has he better than Amen?
Yes.
Yo,
I think he's better.
I would like to think he does. Because and here's my thing:
Mm-hmm.
for the Warriors to have a higher defensive rating than the Cleveland Cavaliers, who not only have Evan Mobley, they have Jared Allen, they have some other good defenders over there too. Now I know the guard position is a little shaky, but for Draymond over there with the Warriors, and he just recently got Jimmy, yes, but who else does he have? That's just stifling on defense. I mean, y'all could say Andrew Wiggins for a majority of the season, but Is Andrew Wiggins moved the needle?
Then that sounds like Zoo has a better case than Draymond.
Yeah. Well,
Zoo, I'm not saying he doesn't. I'm just
case.
throwing out what Draymond has.
I think Zoo is a
Zoo doesn't have a
defense?
big enough name to win it though. Let's be honest.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is
enough
exactly what you
name?
talk about all the time, Swiper. Swiper, in your estimation, who's first team all defense with the Clippers?
Oh, I think Dunn and Zoo.
And that's what the narrative was right from the beginning of the season with the Clippers. Their perimeter defense. We had no
Well, to
conversation.
be fair, most
about
people
Zoo
didn't
play.
think Chris Dunn was
Nobody
you know,
did, but James Harden was the one who came out and made it clear that this is the best defensive team that I've been on primarily because of their perimeter defense. None of us talked about Zubac as a defender, even though I don't give Zubac as nearly as much credit as I should give him as a rim protector. I know how awesome he is as a glass cleaner. His rotation's a lot better than what I gave him credit for too. Now, is that a tribute to how good they are on defense on the perimeter? I think it is, but
100%,
the reason, but the reason why Evan Mobley is, as much as you guys hear me talk about Evan Mobley, one of the main reasons why Evan Mobley is as good as he is as a defender, because he has Jared Allen to do the other stuff that he doesn't do. So that helps. So, I mean, as good as you are as a defender, I always felt like whoever you have with you, that enhances how good you are as a defender.
I think to defend the Cleveland Cavaliers some, one of the reasons why their defense struggles is not struggles, but it's not as great as some other teams. Like Cleveland's 8th in the NBA right now. If I go to the other like dunks and threes, Mars can probably do it or whatever. Their defensive numbers are probably pretty good. So the Cavaliers have they're number 1 in the NBA in defensive shooting around the rim this year. Like Chill said, they have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. This year, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're 13th in mid-range defense. And in three-point defense, the Cleveland Cavaliers are like 16th, basically. So that's really why their defense is like not great. It's like they're giving up on 3-point shots. They don't allow an incredible amount. They're 7th or 8th in the NBA in terms of allowed, but efficiency, like they're giving up a lot of wide open threes just by nature of how they're defending you. And if they're playing drop coverage with Evan Mobley and Jarrett, you're going to give up more looks than some other offenses will. But I think that's why I'm saying that doesn't take away from Evan for me. Like Evan is still like the straw that stirs the drink of their defense. And I think he deserves a lot of credit for that. I think Draymond does too. But again, like if I'm just being objective as possible about this show, I really want people to tell me why Rudy Gobert and Zubac, if we're going like based on like who the best defenses are, who's anchoring those defenses, why they're not in the conversation for real nationally. And I think it has more to do with the narrative around both of those players. One who doesn't have a name, one who already has 4. Go ahead.
I think that's the most important part with Rudy Gobert, considering, Rudy Gobert isn't as versatile. He doesn't defend on the perimeter like these other guys do. He doesn't slow down the best players. Like when he goes up against Joker, he gets his ass kicked. When he goes up against the better bigs in the game,
so does Draymond.
However, and that's my point. That's my point. So the fact that Rudy has won as many defensive players of the year that he's won, and he's affected this Minnesota defense, I think that, to your point, I think they during that 8-game winning streak, I think they had a stretch where they were holding like teams under 105.
You talking
like that.
about the Wolves?
Minnesota, they were holding teams under 105, and Julius Randle looked like a competent defender at that point. And I mean, I think that had a lot to do with Rudy's ability to rebound and protect the rim and to quarterback a defense. But the fact that he's already been a 4-time defensive player of the year, and it doesn't seem, I think it does, but it doesn't seem to translate in the playoffs because he gets outplayed by Joker.
That's not true, though.
I don't think it is neither.
But
I really think that you can make a case for Amen Thompson, man. We got a top. I know you're huffing and puffing, but think about it. You want to talk about versatility. You want to talk about defensive versatility. The argument between Amen and Draymond is firmly in the camp Amen right now. Draymond was probably the quintessential defensive versatile toolkit 4 or 5 years ago. Right now, he's primarily guarding 4s and 5s.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That changes the equation for me a little bit because the whole value of Draymond was, okay, yeah, he doesn't get gaudy block numbers and he doesn't get crazy steal numbers, but at least he is this multi-positional guy that you can stick on a guard. Well, that's Amen Thompson right now. Also, it matters to me that the Houston Rockets have a top 3 defense, and they have one of the worst offenses I've ever seen, and they're at the top of the Western Conference for most of the season. That's largely because of the defense, and he's their best defender.
Respectfully, Steven Adams.
Of course.
Oh yeah, he did have like 10 offensive
10 offensive rebounds. Just to be fair.
We got to give Houston more credit
No, we don't.
They're
not good, Chill. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna lie to you. They're not a good team.
As you were saying, Penn. As you were saying,
Amen Thompson deserves a lot of credit, though. 100%, Penn. Yeah,
he deserves a ton of credit because he's a 92nd percentile rim defender. That is
almost as good as
Peyton
Watson, Mars.
Yeah, but he's a lot better than Peyton Watson.
He was
fouling
Jalen Green.
You saw that yesterday. Fouling,
man.
Jalen Green looked like a bum yesterday. Did you see him? Did you watch that game? That was the worst 30 point. That's the worst 30 ball I've seen all year.
If you're really gonna tell me,
you want to talk about Mr. Triple Double, the worst triple double I ever seen?
Both of them, Şengün and Jalen Green. $33 million a year for that.
Shout out to Steven Adams.
I wish Malik Monk would. Ox. I wish he would. Shoot, if Jalen Green got that, Malik Monk deserved 40. I'm telling you that much.
If I had a team I've never heard a team that's been at the top of the Western Conference for as long as they have. That you guys are so, especially you, Mars, that is so critical of them. Like, but you talk about
tell me what they do well besides offensive rebound and second chance opportunities. What else do they do well?
Well, that's a good thing to do well.
Well, that's their linchpin, though. That's their linchpin.
Okay, so
they win basketball games, right? But that's
what. Man, but one of the reasons that 9-game win streak, they might as well beat the kids from. I hate
that. May I swipe him?
Go ahead, Chill. Go
ahead. Crazy. I'm sorry.
Well, I just think that's crazy to me, Chill. Like, if I feel like people are going to discredit you winning basketball games if they can't explain how you win basketball games. If you don't, if people don't understand everything that you do right, we can't break it down in a graph and a chart and put it in a box and a number, and it doesn't. It's not good enough for people. Like, well, they're winning. They won.
Absolutely, so put into numbers. There's definitely numbers that.
Okay, Mars will do it, but I know you can. I'm just saying that there's a lot. To Swiper's point, Swiper wants Chill to break down what they're good at.
And I was going to do that.
And I'm sure Chill has the ability to do it. I'm not saying that he can't do it. I'm saying it's crazy that he has to do that. Why you know what I'm saying? Why does he have to justify?
Well, because I think we can objectively say they're top end.
They're winning.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm saying that, like, I think that the same thing that I think a lot of people, like with a lot of teams, like Cleveland, for instance. I had a whole argument yesterday locked on. Sure. People are down on Cleveland because they don't think they have top end talent, like top end superstars, historically great players. Even though Chill said that Evan Mobley is historically great, which he's not. Not yet. He will be at some point, maybe.
And that was my point. Okay, I didn't say he was.
Well, you didn't say that at first. I
100% said that. I said he's going to be historically great.
Whatever you believe, Chill. Whatever you believe. What I'm saying is that I think that when the Houston Rockets, Chill.
May I?
You don't matter. I don't even want you to do it. Don't even do it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your energy. I'm saying don't waste your energy. They are good. They're a good. They deserve a lot of credit for what Ime Udoka deserves a lot of credit. He is the MVP of that team. 100%.
I think that he's in the coach of the year conversation.
Şengün making an all-star team this year. It's disgusting, by the way.
Well, Swiper, you asked what do they do good? Coaching could be something that they do good too.
100%. 100%.
They're deep too.
I've seen plenty of mid-teams.
Yeah, we're running like an 8-9 man rotation.
No. Respect Jabari Smith Jr. coming off the bench and coming off the
bench. We're running like an 8-man rotation at this point. That's really what we run. Like it's only really Steven Adams, Tari, and Jabari off the bench, and then the stars.
Okay, well, Steven Adams is what, a top 4 off the bench player?
Yeah, but Steven Adams and Tari both don't play back-to-backs.
Yeah.
So like we
double big lineup, and this is 2025. We're getting a non-spacing double big lineup that's working. Okay,
yeah, because we get 40% of all offensive rebounds.
I know.
Because we run Amen Jabari, Steven Adams, and Şengün with Jalen Green out there chucking and just letting everyone get his rebounds. Like, it works. Now the team sucks, but it works.
Try to tell y'all can play double big ball if you just.
And it's working.
If the coach know what they know how to do, and if the players know what they're doing.
I just know when Mars said they're the last team you want to see because of physicality, I chuckled. I'm chuckling now.
You can't.
You barely beat us.
They didn't have the best player in the world. I don't care. That didn't mean anything to me.
And we had an all-star playing like a
bro. Look, so, hey, Ron. You know what was happening yesterday with Jamal Murray when you saw him in tough? Barbecue chicken.
You see Şengün airball a free throw?
I did. You see Şengün getting dominated by DeAndre Jordan again? Sheesh.
Hey, I'm
gonna steer the conversation. We'll get back to that game and some other games that happened this past weekend. I'm gonna steer the conversation back to the defensive player of the year because I do want to talk about Draymond, and I do believe it's a guy that's getting highly overlooked. But let's get back to Draymond though. Draymond, obviously, we were talking about he campaigned last week. Draymond, I don't know everything that he said, but I know he said, I want another one. And then he also said, especially with Wemby going down, it seemed like he had it won. Now it's right there. 1,000,000%, I have a case, and I will continue to build that case. And since he made those statements, I think the Giannis game came after that statement. So he has been, I guess, building his case like he said he was going to do. But y'all also remember it wasn't just Draymond campaigning. Chilltown. Steve Kerr, when talking about Draymond, said he's the best defender I've ever seen.
That's fair.
Now, keep in mind, Steve Kerr has played or coached with Hall of Fame level defenders.
He said Scottie Pippen was second. No, he said Dennis Rodman was second. Scottie Pippen. One of them.
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Tim Duncan.
He was on the team with Tim Duncan.
And he think Draymond better.
Yeah, Draymond has an argument though in that conversation. That's not even pushback.
He just being a good
Tim
coach. He's
Duncan?
being a good coach. Shout out to Steve Kerr.
Over Michael Jordan?
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Who? Who's that last name you said?
Michael Jordan.
Did you say J.R. Ryder? Mitch Richmond? Who'd you say?
Yeah, he said Michael
Jordan. Did you say he has a case over Tim Duncan?
Yeah, he has a case. He has an argument.
Case.
Yeah, he has an argument.
He's closer to having a case over Tim Duncan than Michael Jordan is to being better than him. I will say that.
That's what I'm trying to say. Respect.
He doesn't have a case over Tim Duncan.
All I'm saying is Steve Kerr is a great coach. Steve Kerr's doing what he's supposed to do. You're supposed to advocate for your players. You're supposed to push the line for your players. Shout out to Steve Kerr. I'm not mad at him at all for saying that.
Yes. Supposed to cap for your players too. That's nice.
Like
I mean,
we don't have
Draymond is an all-time great though.
He is.
Most coaches cap for their players.
Yes, they do. Draymond is an all-time great.
I'm on record saying he's the second most. I'm on record saying he's the second most important part of the Warriors dynasty historically. So I do not need to be convinced. It's not obvious to some. Some people
outside of Kevin Durant, it's obvious.
And some people, hey, a lot of people said it was Clay. A lot of people have said it was Clay.
A lot of people got brains. Y'all crazy disrespect.
What?
You're crazy disrespecting Draymond Green.
So I'm not disrespecting Draymond Green. What I said.
Yeah,
well, all right, whatever. What people are. Maybe if you say you're not, that's cool. Advocate for yourself. Speak up for yourself. That's fine. What I'm saying is people that act like, oh, Klay Thompson's not even talking about, like what Swiper was just trying to do, purposely ignore Klay Thompson.
Like, I didn't ignore it. I'm just saying relative to what they're supposed to do.
I'm talking to people about you right now. So what I'm saying is what Swiper just tried to pull was crazy. It was egregious and it was just disrespectful. Just underhandedly, just trying to pretend like Klay Thompson doesn't exist. The way he was saying, oh well, besides Kevin Durant, you know how Swiper be doing. I'm just saying. I was just calling that out.
How can you be the most important part of a dynasty if you weren't there for half the dynasty? Come on, man.
Well, the reason is
those 2 years made it the dynasty though.
Otherwise, it's just 2 rings 8 years apart. So
right.
Are we pretending that? Okay, cool.
That's the reason.
I mean, where does Sean Livingston fit into that?
Iguodala get no. Iguodala.
Iguodala
got a legit case.
You might as well just throw Andrew Bogut and Sean Livingston up here.
Sean Livingston has more of a case than Andrew Bogut.
Yes, Ron, don't go too far.
Steph, KD, Draymond, Clay, and then Iguodala.
Iguodala more important than KD, but
can we get back to Steve Kerr saying that he's the best defender that he's ever seen?
I have the conversation.
That's okay. That's not a crazy argument.
I just want to get back to that. One of Draymond's, if not the thing that makes Draymond elite as a defender was his versatility. Draymond's not a great rebounder. I don't think he was an elite rebounder. I think he was a good rebounder for his size. I think he was a damn good rebounder for his size. I think Draymond's IQ and his switchability and being a quarterback, I think that's what pushed. I think that's what propelled him.
Is it crazy to say he's the second smartest defender of all time, Joe?
Who's the first?
Who's the smartest?
How could you know that?
Bill Russell?
Yeah, second best IQ.
You could just look. You could look at
playmaking, defensive playmaking, basically.
Defensive playmaking.
Yeah.
I mean, Scottie.
I have KG in there. I'd throw KG up.
Scottie Pippen's IQ.
I'm not throwing Scottie Pippen in nothing.
I
heard KG, Hakeem, Draymond, and Bill. I'm good with.
Yes, I think Scottie Pippen as
Hakeem, one of the smartest defenders.
Yeah, for me, it's Bill Russell.
Am I about to hear some slander from Penn?
That's not slander. I'm asking a question. Is Hakeem one of the smartest defenders?
Yes, Penn. He is one of the smartest defenders in NBA history.
I
don't think that
he was 6'9". He better be.
He wasn't out there. Actually, 6'10" and a half flat-footed. That's what he was. But anyway,
we ain't no 6'10".
We talking about smart defenders. I mean, we got
flat-footed
Shaq
means
Barrett.
barefoot?
When
he got to the University of Houston,
That's pretty big.
when he measured
I
6'10"
seen
and a half
Ox and Hakeem in the
flat-footed.
same room, and I saw Ox waiting eye to eye with him. That's all I'm saying.
So, and Ox is 6'9".
I'll tell you what. This is gonna blow your mind.
Carter,
I think
Carter.
Fred Van Vleet's smarter. Oh,
Then who?
Why are you bringing up?
Than who?
you said smartest defenders of all time. You seen
then
Fred
who?
Van Vleet? Have you seen Fred Van Vleet
Are
physically?
we having a
That dude
conversation
should
about
not be
Fred
able to
Van Vleet?
survive.
Are we having a conversation about Fred Van Vleet and
No, we're not, Chill. No, we're not.
As
No, we're
the
not.
smartest
I'm out. I'm letting you know that right
defenders?
now. I'm out.
No, we're not. We're not talking about that.
How are you defining smart?
I say
I'm not
this as
doing that.
respectfully as possible. Take a walk, brother.
No,
Take a walk.
I'm not doing that.
Nah,
Hell
you
no.
take a
Don't
walk.
say
So
respectfully.
you're saying Fred Van
Don't
Vleet
say
is smarter than
respectfully.
Hakeem? Oh, okay.
I'm saying Fred
That's
Van
not racially
Vleet is one of the
motivated.
smartest defenders of all time. When you talk about smart, I'll give you Draymond because he is overcoming a sincere lack of vertical athleticism, size, and he's finding it through angles. What are we talking about?
Is Fred Van Vleet
Hakeem
smarter than
Olajuwon.
Stockton? Is Fred Van Vleet smarter than Stockton as a defender?
That dirty.
I don't
Don't
know.
do this. Ben,
I
don't
don't
do
know.
this.
I don't
You
know.
don't know.
But
What
I
are you
think
talking about, man?
honestly, yo, chill. What is intelligence on defense? It's preparedness. It's hand-eye coordination. It's overall like understanding court mapping defensively. You look at Fred Van Vleet, 6'2" wingspan, 6 feet tall, not very athletic. The fact that you can say what you want about defensive analytics. The fact that he consistently for the last 6 to 7 years has ranked as one of the best defenders in the NBA is honestly a testament to him overcoming.
Wait. Ranked
physical
how? Ranked
limits.
how is one of the best. Like how has he been ranked one of the best defenders in the NBA?
In terms of just overall how effective the team is when he's on the court defensively, Ox, and how ineffective they are when he's not on the court. As evidence. We can agree that Fred Van Vleet is a very inefficient offensive player, right?
We ain't talking about that. No. We're not talking about that, Pen. We stay on the defensive side of the ball. Let's stay on the defensive side of the ball. I want to stay on the defensive side of the ball, and I want to stay in Houston. How much is this Houston defense affected when Fred Van Vleet is off the floor, as opposed to, in terms of intelligence, as opposed to when Thompson is off the floor?
Because he could be direct and traffic, right? Is that all right?
Well, I guess it
That's
depends
what
on
it comes
who's playing in his place, right? I think that matters if you're talking about on-offs and
So
splits and
defensive
stuff like that. But Fred's deflections, Fred's organization of his team defense, his communication, the amount of turnovers he forces, the fact that he's able to protect the rim at all at his size is ridiculous. He does protect the rim.
He gets swiped downs. He gets swiped
downs. They call him blocks.
Today, you talking about Raptors, Fred Van Vleet?
Yes, no, I'm talking about
even today. Even today.
It's not a day.
Swipe down is not a
How do you think Fred Van Vleet is averaging like 0.6 blocks?
No, I'm cool with that. I agree. He's one of. But why are we talking about Fred Van Vleet in the GOAT conversation?
Fred Van Vleet. How did we get to Fred Van Vleet when we talking about Draymond Green?
Let me just throw this out there. He's also very positionally versatile. Bet you didn't think that. He guards small forwards.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Ron, you not gonna do nothing about this round?
I saw. Since we're there, I saw a guy looking for Fred Van Vleet like this, eyes wide open last night.
Yeah,
where's Fred at?
When you only watch 2-3 Fred.
Where's Fred at? Where's he at?
I watch every Fred Van Vleet game. Every single one.
Would you agree with what I'm saying? We can all agree that he's.
No, I agree with you. Nobody disagrees. I just know where it came from.
I agree he's a very smart defender. I agree with that. Very smart.
Yes.
Pen.
What's up, Ron?
Be that as it may, he could be the smartest defender to ever walk this earth.
But I was looking
Would Draymond Green be
but here's the
defenders. If you say he can be the smartest this earth, then what's the argument?
Here's the point. No, here's the point I'm making. I'm not making an argument or no pushback to how smart the brother is. The point I'm making is we are talking about the class of defenders we're talking about. It's not just about how smart they were. It was about their ability to execute on the defensive end and the ability to completely just stifle other teams' whole
We're not even talking about
organization.
At this
but wait a minute. Wait. Mars, don't let Ron off the hook with this, because let's talk about basketball IQ. When you think about basketball IQ as a defender, when you run down all the basketball IQs, when does Fred Van Vleet's name come up?
Not top 50. I'm not even.
I'm just saying, and I'm
I'm not
talking
even thinking
about
about
all-time.
it.
I'm talking about
your
all-time
argument
greatest
is
No,
backwards.
chill. Let's not
His
talk
name
about
don't
all
never
time.
come up. It never
Let's
comes
not
up.
talk
What
about
are we
all time.
doing?
Let's talk
Because
about
he's
today.
underrated.
No, let's talk about today.
I mean, I could
You
argue
ain't
that
even
Fred-
you ain't even
Fred
talk about
Van Vliet's
Rajon
name-
Rondo.
life.
Like,
Fred Van
Facts.
Vliet's
you could
name
you
don't
could
come
have
up.
said Rajon Rondo. You could have said Jason Kidd. You went to Fred Van Vliet. You could have said Tony.
I do think I do think
Rajon,
Jason
one of the
Kidd's
smartest
Tony
defenders
Allen.
of all
You know what
time.
I'm saying?
I do
Tony
think Jason
Allen.
Kidd's a smarter defender than Fred.
Okay, hang on.
I know I said Shane Battier, but goddamn.
Bruce Bowen. Shoot, all of them.
Ox, one of the biggest things that allows you.
Manu Ginobili.
Yo, y'all know this as hoopers.
Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Jackson. And we having a conversation. Goodness gracious. He was what, 6 feet, Ox? Ball. And balled.
Fred Van
And
Vliet
got it done.
Yeah.
At least Fred Van Vliet has hair.
A ball-headed defender.
A ball-headed short
What the
man.
hell does hair have to do with this?
He can't
Hold
even protect
on,
his
Ox,
own.
this is what I'm saying. This he don't know. He don't know ball. Do you not realize that when you short in the NBA and bald, everybody's looking at you like you chump change? Like Michael Petras, because he was bald, people thought he was chump change, and that man had to go to work defensively.
He was 6'6",
and he locked
who
in.
don't know
He locked in. He
Mikael
locked in.
Petras was 6'6".
I know, but he locked in.
You were talking about Draymond. How the hell did we get to Fred Van Vliet? I'm trying to figure
Because
that out.
Swiper's trying to
Well,
vent
What's
about
his defensive warp? What's his defensive warp?
Fred
That's
Van
the real
Vliet's
question.
smarter on defense than Hakeem. So.
Which is nuts. Okay, so let's
It's
get
not
back.
nuts.
Let's
Get swipe downs.
It's
Let's
not
get
nuts.
swipe downs.
Pin,
let's get back. Let's
Pin,
get
this
back.
will be one of
Let's
your
get back
most
to-
unforgiving moments on
This
the
is
panel.
one of those. This take was sponsored by Puma.
Pin, this was
No,
disgusting.
Ron.
This
This
take
was
is
Ron, he
sponsored by
gets
Puma.
swiped.
Yes.
Nope.
By Puma. Ron, he gets
Yes.
swiped down. So respect the swipe downs.
This is
Okay,
100%
I do think Fred Van Vliet's
I'm
a really
telling
smart
you
defender.
right now, there's a
Okay.
reason why this dude went undrafted, because people looked at him, looked at his
Because he
physics,
wasn't
and
getting
said
swiped downs at
he's
the time?
not going. No, they looked at him and they said, as well as he shoots, as well as he orchestrates an offense,
Yep.
he is not going to be able to survive in the NBA level as a defender because he's so undersized. The
Right.
fact
Fred came out
that,
of VCU.
hang
right?
on, no,
Wichita
Oh.
State.
he went to
Which-
Wichita State.
Which okay, I always get those confused. You know, the yellow, red, you know.
The fact that not only is he not a defensive liability, but he has consistently been one of the top 3 to 5 point guard defenders in the league through most of his prime.
No, he has not, Pin.
Nate-
Stop it, bro.
Three, I
Stop
said
it.
3 to 5. I said
He's
3 to
not,
5.
he's not even top 10 right
CP3,
now.
CP3, Chris
Stop,
Paul,
bro.
Russell Westbrook off the top of my head. Just
CP3,
Russell
Chris
Westbrook.
Sorry,
Come on
CP3,
now.
You gotta bring-
CP3,
you gotta
Off-ball
bring up
don't
his
matter.
historical figures.
Off-ball
CP3,
don't matter.
Russell Westbrook, and John Wall. Right there. There's three easy.
Sean
There's
Wall.
3 easy. Yeah,
Well,
John Wall, Jonathan.
when did Fred Van Vliet
Jonathan
come in?
Waller.
2019?
Come
2019?
on.
He showed up
God
in
damn.
20.
Yeah,
That was his Brook season.
That's
The year they
post
finished
Achilles John Wall at that point.
Bro,
Post-
Drew Holiday. Somebody said it. Derek White.
Drew Holiday, I'll give you. Derek
Derek
White.
Well,
Derek
thank you
White's
for
not a point
giving us
guard.
Drew Holiday.
He's a combo guard. What y'all yapping about?
Fred Van Vliet.
Yeah.
Davion Mitchell.
Davion Mitchell, not better.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
No,
you
he's
out your
not.
mind.
No, he's
you are.
not.
You have
Oh,
officially
You hate
lost
Davion
your
Mitchell.
Puma sponsor.
Now,
No, I-
now wait,
I hate
wait,
Fred Van Vliet.
because we're swaying the conversation. We're talking about basketball IQ. Now we're talking about him being a better overall defender.
Well, no,
wait a
chill.
minute now.
Chris
Chill, but that-
Gunn out of
that
Providence.
was the point I was
That's
making.
right.
You know what? It
Let-
doesn't
let-
matter
let
how
me-
smart you are
Alex
as a defender.
Caruso
Let's
played
pan
golf
out a
in
little
Texas
bit.
A&M.
I'll give you top 10. He's been a top 10 point guard.
Oh, now you
defender.
keep moving. Now you keep moving the
I said 3
goalposts.
to 5. I'll
This
say
is
10.
what happened to you the other day on Playback. You kept moving the goalposts. You're gonna get clapped for it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
What? No. Swiper, you so nasty. You're so nasty. The dude came in with his mic 8 decibels up and just screamed over me for 3 minutes, and you say,
Oh,
I'm
when you
moving
got
the
cooked.
goalpost. Come on, man.
You got cooked. You got cooked.
No.
I watched it.
Was
after
Fred,
the
wait,
fact.
was,
Wait,
was
wait,
Fred,
wait, wait,
was
wait,
Fred
because-
Van Vliet a better defender than Eric Bledsoe?
Eric
I
Bledsoe.
don't think so.
No.
And again, Mars, again,
Yeah.
this is what we do. See,
Through
Mars,
his
this is what we
career,
do.
yes.
We're moving the goalposts again. We're stuck on, because I want to stay on basketball IQ, because I don't want to have this conversation about him now being a better, because he wasn't a better defender than Kyle Lowry. He wasn't.
There wasn't.
I agree.
And he was on the same team with him. So
Lowry's great too.
and
He
Kyle
was
Lowry is
bad.
not in the
La-
conversation.
Lowry should count as one of those high IQ defenders too. Where you think
He is a
Fred
high
learned
IQ
it from?
defender. I agree with
100%.
that.
And
But very smart.
this is what I don't want to do, Penn. I don't want to overstate a guy being being smart as a defender. I don't want to overstate that, but I also don't want to overrate them because they're smart. Okay, because I'm
Chill.
smart, that doesn't mean I should go to Harvard.
Chill. Stop for a second.
I'm not that smart.
Who you defend? No, hang on. Your quality as a defender comes down to your role defensively, number one, and number two, the quality of opponents. I think we can all agree that that point guard position in the NBA has never been bigger than it is right now. And it has never been quite as dynamic and as deep as it is right now. Okay,
we don't either way it goes.
Hang on. Every night,
it could be the best class of point guards ever. You still gotta guard him. And if you're getting cooked, you're getting cooked,
bro.
I'm not saying he's getting cooked, but I'm saying like
all the respect you give to Draymond.
Make exceptions for Fred Van Vleet. Especially
we're not making exceptions, Ron. He has legitimately carved out a role.
Henny, I'll say that too.
Why are we being so
Ron Harper
almost willfully obtuse about this? I'm talking about a guy who went from undrafted to all-star to a Mac fucking player.
You wild as hell for that. You wild as hell.
And he's been undersized in almost every single matchup he's ever had. Now, I want to say that his lateral quickness has gone down a little bit right now, so he's not quite the point of attack defender that he was. The fact that he is able to do this post 31 is freaking a ridiculous. You have to give this dude credit as one of the smartest players of all time. I don't care what you say. Offensively, defensively,
I just don't
Fred Van Vleet's basketball IQ is insane.
Why can't it just be that he's a very smart player? Like I agree.
No,
with you.
He's a very
smart
not
player.
talented offensively. He's very smart.
You can be one of the smartest players of all time. I'm not going to argue that point. You can be. You're not in the same conversation with these dudes, though. No, you're not.
Because what's happening here is you're conflating two arguments. I'm not saying he's on par with any of the top 30, 40 defenders of all time. I'm not talking about Hakeem and Fred Van Vleet as impact defenders. I'm trying to tell you that one of those guys,
just in terms of upstairs.
I'm talking about how you're processing the game, Chill. I'm trying to tell you that Hakeem Olajuwon may have been an inch undersized for his position, but he made up for it with length. I'll tell you that Rajon Rondo was a little bit undersized for the point guard position, but he made up for it with length and athleticism.
Mm-hmm.
Fred Van Vleet don't got that. Fred Van Vleet don't got elite athleticism. Fred Van Vleet is not only, hang on. If I told you, forget I'm talking about Fred Van Vleet. Let me tell you, imagine I told you that a guy was slower than his opponent on almost a nightly basis, smaller than his opponent on a nightly basis, had less length than his opponent on a nightly basis, had less hops than his opponent on a nightly basis, and was routinely a 95th to 96th percentile defender per every single analytic on the planet through all his prime.
That's what that
sound like Chris Paul.
That sound like
John Stockton. It is not like Chris Paul, because Chris Paul is an absolutely a 98th to 99th percentile athlete through most of his prime.
You would have brought up Chris Paul off your rocker. Would have tripped out for the most part,
bro. Chris Paul is
people are just mad.
Fred Van Vleet is not an elite athlete.
No.
You watch him move around the court. He's not an elite athlete.
I never said.
So how is he succeeding? Explain it. Explain.
You're not going to argue with me. I think Fred Van Vleet's a good player.
He's succeeding, to your point, because he is smart. However, I'm not arguing the point that he's not smart, Penn. I'm not arguing that point. What I am arguing is the point of the class you're putting him in. He's not that smart. That's the problem.
Why isn't he?
Why isn't he? Because I think he would.
Well, how is
it? Okay. Well, let me ask. Let's flip the question.
The reason why I don't think so is because if he was, considering the teams that he was on, this is the same Fred Van Vleet who was on playoff teams. This is the same Fred Van Vleet,
NBA champion. Fred Van Vleet.
Yeah, he was on
who
NBA
guarded Steph Curry in the finals. Fred Van Vleet.
And with that being said,
he did a great job.
100% he did. What I'm saying is that he would have produced, because again, we can't take production out of this, and production matters. And Fred Van Vleet being a starting lead guard on a playoff team, being a heavy rotation player on a championship team, for what you're telling me in terms of his basketball IQ, how smart he is, and what he produces, it sure doesn't show it. It sure does not show it.
What did he not produce?
Well, he didn't produce
enough.
He shot 7% for an entire series against Philadelphia, or 8%, and still kept his rotation spot. What does that tell you about what he's providing defensively?
Okay, and again,
is there another player in the league that could have shot 8% for an entire series in which you go down to a game 7 and the coach still plays him? I mean, you could say he had some tape on Nick Nurse for how much Nick Nurse trusted that dude defensively. He put him on the best player on the other team and said, stop him. And he did a pretty good job. I'm not going to deny that Steph Curry did a good job in the finals, but he worked hard okay, in those finals. Look, all I'm gonna say is this, okay? If I could do a brain transplant of Fred Van Vleet's brain and put it into some of the defenders that you're thinking about, they don't get worse. I'll tell you that. You could argue all day that Hakeem Olajuwon ain't getting better with Fred Van Vleet's basketball IQ, but he ain't getting worse. Because if you look at what Fred Van Vleet has had to succeed with, the physical limitations, and you put that in a 6'10" athletic dynamo who's bouncy with a 7'4" wingspan, you really are talking about some shit you never seen before. You might be talking about Bill Russell.
And that's a fair point, but I can counter that with it's a lot less difficult for me as a rotation player who is shooting bad to go into the game and only concentrate on defense, because we have guys to supplement that stuff while I'm shooting bad. So with that being said, a guy like Fred Van Vleet, if I come into the game and all I'm asked to do is slow down Steph Curry, which is a lot, which is almost impossible, but your only responsibility is to make it difficult on Steph Curry. That's it. That's all you have to do. Now, if you make shots, that's a bonus.
All you have to do.
Clearly, he does, because he shot 8%. So he wasn't on the floor for offense. So he clearly wasn't on the floor to score the basketball. So
he heated up against Milwaukee. I'll tell you that.
No. We're gonna stay on Steph Curry. So we're gonna stay straight on Steph Curry.
Oh, he shot well in the playoff. He shot well in the finals.
You just said 8%. That's what this is
Philly,
the number that you gave me.
Philly series.
Okay, so
he shot 8% in the Philly series.
Right. So again, he's going up against Maxey. Was it Maxey? No. Maxey wasn't there at that point. I'm sorry. Were you talking about a guy?
Ben and Jimmy Butler.
Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler.
Yes. So my job is to come into the game because I'm not shooting the basketball well. My job is to come into the game and slow down and make it difficult on a guy in Ben Simmons who's not going to shoot the ball anyway. Even though I'm outnumbered in terms of size against him, he's not going to shoot the basketball anyway. Now, wouldn't I, if it's basically 5-on-4, wouldn't it be more beneficial to me as a smart defender to go, like you said, dig in the paint a little bit more, get in the passing lane a little bit more? Why? Because this guy that I'm covering, I don't have to worry about him scoring the basketball, which means that if I'm doing that stuff more, I should get more steals, right? I should get more deflections, because this guy that I'm dealing with, he's not really that much of a part of the offense. I don't have to worry about him scoring. But instead, what kind of production are we looking at from Fred Van Vleet? What kind of production are we looking at from him in that aspect? I don't think it was much. And I think that's where the separator is when you're talking about him being in conversations with guys like Stockton, with guys like not Isaiah Thomas, with guys like Stockton, with guys like Chris Paul, and guys like that.
The Houston Rockets chose him literally over James Harden for the stability that he provides that organization. They paid him the same contract that James Harden wanted. They snubbed one of the greatest players of all time, still serviceable, still very good, still an all-star level for this dude. He made an all-star team. Now, here's the thing. If I tell you there's two guys, one guy had 100,000, the other guy had $1 billion, and they both ended up at the exact same place, I think you might have some stuff to say about the $100,000 dude and how he made up that gap. Fred Van Vleet is the $100,000 dude. He is the guy that nobody thought
he's
could
not
make it.
arriving at the same places with billionaires. That's the point I'm trying to make, Penn. Throughout this whole thing, and I want to respect. Hold on,
I'll agree with that.
I want to respect Fred. I don't want to make it seem like I'm disrespecting Fred. It's still levels. And how smart
if I inherit 100 million and someone else starts off bankrupt, $0, and the person with $0 ends up becoming a multi-millionaire, 200 million, 300 million, and the guy with 100 million ends up having 800 million. Who is smarter financially?
The guy who started at zero, because that's the hardest thing. Your first million is the hardest.
Fred has no physical advantages. He has no
bingo. He has one physical advantage.
That's the point I'm making.
Who's the smarter defender to you, Wemby or Fred Van Vleet?
But that's the point I'm making.
Wemby's not there yet.
I'm just trying to get the barometer of intelligence versus physical advantages. Does everyone agree that Fred Van Vleet is a smarter defender than Victor Wembanyama?
Yes,
sure,
100%.
Okay. Is Fred Van Vleet a smarter defender than Evan Mobley?
Yes. 100,000% yes.
I think 10 plus years in league matters.
Okay.
He came in a smarter defender. Wiper.
Is he a smarter defender than Marcus Smart?
No.
Yes.
Marcus Smart was also an elite defender coming out of college as well.
Okay, Marcus Smart is 6'4" and is very athletic.
Not the conversation. He asked, is he a smarter defender? No. I'm saying I think Marcus is smarter.
Yeah, but Penn's bringing up the physical limitations again. That's why.
No, I don't think so.
But for the context of using those things, that's not the conversation. The conversation. I'm saying that I think Marcus Smart is obvious for me. Came in an elite defender, was also a very knowledgeable elite defender, and then has done it through several levels as a primary guarding option on several different iterations of that Celtic team. I'm giving Smart the nod in that context. I've seen him use his gifts unlike anybody else. And if you want to talk about playing in the passing lane, there was a period probably from 18 to 22 or 19 to 22, depending on where Marcus Smart was probably the best off-ball guard in the sport, bar none, because of his ability. And I would even say this, when I saw him play versus Embiid, Jokic, Giannis, in particular, he's probably the best among guards at swiping down at the ball on those closeouts or on those little fast first dribble doubles. Marcus did that better than anybody else. So I'm saying I'm putting Marcus there.
I agree with Cheese in the chat, but sorry, go ahead.
And Penn, I don't think that we talk much about being an irritant as well. And I think that matters as a defender, because I think that throws guys offensively off of their game. And I think Marcus Smart, I think he was one of the best irritants in the game. And that's a part of that. I think that's a part of basketball IQ, to be able to get into your head as a defender. And I think Marcus Smart was fantastic at that.
Marcus is amazing. He's an absolutely, physical specimen as a defender. When I watched him in college, I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to come in and lock down. I want this guy to be a lead guard on my team. I felt the same way about Drew Holiday. Cannot ignore the physical advantages that you have when you are 6'4" with a 6'8" wingspan at the point guard position swiper. The fact that Fred Van Vleet is even close to Marcus Smart in terms of cumulatively, guess who has more defensive win shares on their career? Of course, Marcus Smart. But it's a small gap. It's a small gap. And by the way, per game, it's actually not a gap. Marcus has been in the league longer. Okay.
Do you think that Fred Van Vleet, do you think everything is equal? And he's on a fantastic team, just like Marcus Smart is on a fantastic team. He's on a great defensive team, just like Marcus Smart is on a great team. Do you think, even with his physical limitations, do you think he affects the game as much as Marcus Smart would affect the game defensively?
No. I also don't think there's many guards that can say they have in the last 20 years over like a 5-year sample size.
Because Penn, this is what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about what you mentioned when you talked about him coming into the league in 19. Does he affect the game defensively 16. More than
in the league in 16, 17?
He wasn't playing for him. We don't care.
So if him coming into the game at that stretch, does he affect the game on the defensive end more than Kemba Walker did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker is not a good defender. In Fred Van
But maybe he's smart.
I'm talking about upstairs, and I'm thinking about the better league guards in the game during the time that he was in the game.
Once
Russ,
again, when I think
I'm not going to say Damian Lillard. I'm not going to say guys.
Joe, we have all watched thousands and thousands of hours of basketball. I think we can all agree the twitchiness, length, positional size, strength are all things that help lead guards. We've seen it. Through 50 years of basketball, we can all agree that those traits transfer well. I think we can also agree that being a little bit pudgy and vertically challenged, and not having very long arms and not having very big hands, all of these things are typically considered negatives defensively, which is why nobody drafted him. So the fact that he has been able to overcome that, and even if you don't think that he's a better defender than Marcus Smart, and we could argue that, and I could even make an argument that Marcus Smart has just been marginally better as a defender on his career. Per game, per minute, whatever. Okay. The fact that he's even in that conversation with someone who has so many advantages over him, and Marcus Smart is a very smart defender. Drew Holiday's very smart.
That conversation, though. We put him in the conversation.
We could agree to disagree.
In that conversation.
He definitely is in that conversation.
For you, for you.
Yes, for me, he's in that conversation. Analytically, he's in that conversation. My eye test says he's in that conversation. Impact says he's in that conversation. His team success says he's in that conversation. His championship ring says he's in that conversation. And frankly, a lot of things say he's in that conversation.
I wish Marcus Smart was on that 19 Raptors team.
That would have been great. Look, I am the. You know what the funniest thing is? I hate the narrative around how overrated Fred Van Vleet got in Toronto. I hated it. All-star.
Fred Van Vleet did great in Toronto. On top of that, Fred Van Vleet contributed heavily to that 19 ring. I'm not trying to say,
I agree.
I wasn't trying to say like that. I think Fred Van Vleet outplayed Kawhi in multiple games in that whole playoff run. If I'm being honest, maybe not for the whole.
Mean too.
There was that's what I mean. There were stretches. So when I said that, I expected y'all to feel me on that. Not, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about there were stretches, you know what I'm saying? There were stretches in the game where like, yo, Fred is really carrying right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think we all can agree on that. Fred Van Vleet played amazing. He earned that ring. I wasn't trying to say it like that. What I was trying to say is that defense with Kawhi, with the big fella, with Siakam, with Serge, if they had Kyle Lowry, if they had Marcus Smart instead of Fred Van Vleet, I think that defense might be one of the best defenses ever. You know what I mean?
It already might be.
Right. But what I'm saying is there's such a big gap on that side of the floor. There is such a big gap between Marcus Smart and Fred Van Vleet that we could all walk shoulder to shoulder and fit through that gap. Like you
know what it is?
Yes, all of us, all 6 of us, Swipe included, we can stand side by side and walk straight through the gap that there is between Fred Van Vleet and Marcus Smart on the defensive end. I just want to see if there's a possible way that I could just end this conversation right now.
Ron, if we get Draymond,
I'm running a poll on Twitter. Twitter will decide who's smarter between Hakeem and Fred Van Vleet.
No, right on. We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that.
Swiper is. Twitter is the voice of reason, y'all.
Fellas, we do got to move on though.
Yeah.
And talk about PrizePicks because this is an app that you need to download and take advantage of the promo code, which will allow you to get $50 instantly. Say it with me. Instantly when you play just $5. Now, it's very simple. You download the app. You use the promo code panel. You pick 2 or more players. You choose more or less on their player projections for that day, and you got a chance to win you some good money. And we're going to show you guys exactly how we rocking today, right now, on this Monday, March 24th, we are going with Aaron Gordon. More points. No Jokic tonight. I checked the weather forecast. It's a possibility of Leicester. So with that being said, Aaron Gordon will continue to do what he's been doing, and that's get buckets. And they're playing against the Chicago Bulls. 17.5 points. Come on, Aaron. Do what you do best. Benny the Bucket, Demon pick, 14.5 points. Ben's been getting to it. I think y'all seen that game winner the other night. He's one of the best buckets in the league off the bench. So I expect Benny to come and get us 15 points. Big Ox, talk to me about these other 2.
I think Zion versus Philly, I think 32.5. That's points and rebounds. And I think you should get that. I'm thinking he'll probably end up around 37, 38 points and rebounds. Luka Doncic is just he's hit on the under. Oh, I'm sorry, the less. What? Yeah, the less. He's hit on the less quite often. So we're just gonna rock with that trend. Luka Doncic has been hitting that less pretty consistently on the points.
All right, that's that, y'all. If you hit on this, send me a screenshot, send it to the Player's Choice account or any of our socials, and let us know that you copied what we did and it was successful for you. All right, y'all. It is one person that I mentioned earlier that I believe isn't getting enough love in this Defensive Player of the Year race. And Mars has talked about it a little bit, saying bigs are obviously going to get more love than guards. But I want to talk about Dyson Daniels for a little bit. He became the youngest player ever to record 200-plus steals in a season since they were first tracked in the 73-74 year. As of right now, he's on track, and he has 202 steals right now. As of right now, he's on pace to get 242 steals. That would put him at 12th all-time, tied with John Stockton in the 87-88 season. I'm gonna list some other guys that would finish above him. Now, obviously, he would have to continue to do what he's doing, which is about 3 steals a game. But the only people that would be better than that, 242, Alvin Robertson, 243. Michael Ray Richardson, 243. John Stockton, 244. Alvin Robertson again, 246. Michael Jordan, the year he won DPOY, 87-88, 259. Alvin Robertson, 260. Slick Watts, RIP to Slick Watts too. A Seattle legend for real. But Slick Watts, 261. John Stockton again, 263. Michael Ray Richardson, 265. Don Boos, I know he played in the ABA. Is it Don Boost or Don Buse? Well, Don Boost is second all time in the NBA in steals with 281. And also in the ABA, he had 246, which is crazy. That was in the 75-76 season. And then the most steals all time in the NBA is 301, once again with Alvin Robertson. So
it's a lot of steals.
It's crazy steals. I'm saying that to say Dyson Daniels is on his way to elite company right now.
He's a great player. He's the best player in that.
You know how hard it is to steal the ball. Like, I mean, like there's a lot of times a lot of time in the basketball game. You know what I mean? And still getting 3 steals.
Yeah.
In 40 minutes is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a lot of steals, bro.
If a player's top 5 in steals and deflections, like I think you're like, I mean, that's like a rare combination. You're up there. You're up there. For me, that matters, man. Like being top 5 in steals and deflections like that, you're creating havoc every single possession, and teams are actively trying to keep the ball like away from you. That's a big deal.
Mars is the one.
Your audio went out, Chill. Your audio went out.
Did you mute yourself, Chill? But yeah, while Chill's gathering himself, I just believe Dyson Daniels deserves a lot more love. And honestly, you know, I lean in favor of the guards. With me just being a guard, I like the love Draymond's getting. That's the love Dyson Daniels should be getting. And I wouldn't, if I'm a voter, I would heavily consider giving him that top vote.
But when's the last? But I think that's the question though for you, Ron. When is the last time you can argue someone was that good defensively and then their team wasn't like even defensively, even with them on the court?
Last year. Oh, yeah. On the court. Oh, damn.
Yeah, see, if you let me finish the question, that's your problem right there. You did that. You did that in a piece. You did that when we were in where were we just? San Francisco, when we were making content too, by the way. Yeah. Yeah, y'all see. Yeah, when we doing that little game, you're like, so who Mars? Right here.
You remember the game, Mars, the trivia game? I was eating off that because Mars was getting his hand up too quick, so I decided to just keep my hand right here and just
and then when they made up the rule on the fly that if you get it wrong, you move back. Oh yeah, when they tried to cheat on the fly. You know, I also remember who won, but you know,
I remember that the game was not made for people with disabilities, but whatever. Shout out.
I know. Me and Mars was chilling way up here, looking back at y'all like, man, I wish I would step it up.
Yeah,
I feel like I finished right next to Mars actually, but you know, whatever.
You know,
Chill, we can't hear you. Well, I can't hear you, Chill.
Can't hear you, Chill.
Dyson is averaging 4.2 steals per 100 possessions. You remember? Do you remember that season where Michael Jordan had that huge outlier season where he averaged 3.2 steals and won Defensive Player of the Year?
Oh, when they said that his numbers were fake, yeah.
Yeah, Michael Jordan averaged 3.9 steals per 100 possessions during that season. So Dyson is eclipsing even the highest mark ever set by Jordan. That's crazy.
I wish deflections were counting in like on as a major stat now. I feel like it should be a major stat. I mean, like it should be number 6 on the 5 major stats now. Okay, that matters too.
Yeah, you disrespecting Fred Van Vleet and you want to talk about deflections. Okay.
I'm disrespecting by not calling him a king. Yeah, sure.
Well, I'm currently running the poll.
Fred
Van Vleet got some votes on the poll. He currently has 18% of the votes. So
that's a lot. That's a lot more than I thought he would get.
Yeah, he's got. That's not the. This isn't the most lopsided poll I've ran.
That's because some of the dudes don't even know who Akeem is.
I'm thinking.
Mars is the nastiest. He's the nastiest individual on the timeline. I mean, not even.
He mad because I was.
Who did you say? Bill Walton and who?
Alvin Adams.
It didn't, you know, because all the Gen Z glazers like, oh yeah, Mars said it, he must be right. He said Alvin Adams and Jokic have similar archetypes. Like, no, they don't. They didn't even play the same. But because he's
they weren't offensive.
He did not play like Joker at all. I know exactly who he is. And then look at me when I'm talking. Look at me, I'm the captain now. And then Mars, and then Mars, because he gets all these Gen Zers that also think he's right when he's absolutely wrong. Or like, yeah. Glaze Alvin Adams.
So how was Alvin Adams not an offensive
he must be similar. They've never heard of him, and they still don't like the tweet.
What they think is not my business. How was Alvin Adams not an offensive?
They literally don't know who this man is. They don't know if he's white or black or Asian or Hispanic, they still voted on it. Never seen him play. You can look him up right now. He was a really good player. He was an all-star at one point. He was a very good defensive player. He was a good shooter. That's it. All he did was do set shots. He didn't do anything else on the offensive end. He didn't run DHOs. He averaged minimal assists because he was handing the ball off on a great team, by the way. They literally here you go.
Right? Handles.
Here you go.
Handles. Guess who does handles in today's game? Oh, crazy. But
So
when he's out the high post finding guys cutting to the
I'll
rim,
tell you what.
I can't say he ain't doing the same thing Jokic is doing.
Yeah, look at two clutch core. Y'all both toxic. See, that's the problem.
Archetypically, they're
Mars
comparable.
tries to
And
pretend
yes,
like
I
he's
stand
not
on that.
nobody. And Jalen, you didn't even
an
respect
offense that runs.
you didn't even
through their
spell
centers
his name
playmaking,
correctly.
yeah.
It's Al Van. It's VAN. That's what I'm saying. Nobody knows who he is. No one knows.
Nobody knows who he is.
Outside of people that are really
of the year,
no. Outside of people that are over 30, 35. That is not Mars' demographic, by the way. That is not his demographic anyway. I do. Go to your YouTube right now. Pull up your analytics. I guarantee you, there's 25 and under.
Twitter's a different place.
I will actually guarantee you that his key demographic is actually 26 to 34.
I will guarantee you it's not. I will guarantee you it's not. Because mine is. I know his is not. I know it's not. I know
my audience is more mature than Swipers. Mine probably 62. That's what we talking about. But Alvin Adams was an offensive hub for the Suns. He was playmaking out the high post. He wasn't even
in the same realm. Bill Walton, I can get.
I never said he was as good.
No, I didn't say good. No, I didn't use the word good. I didn't use the word good. Bill Walton makes more sense. But even him, Larry Bird makes way more sense. And I think he's distinctly different than Larry Bird too. So that's what I'm saying.
And
you're just wrong. You just wanted to be a contrarian. Chill. You know who Alvin Adams was. He was a really good player. Please don't feel like you got to protect Mars. Is he a similar archetype to what Jokic is right now?
Alvin Adams?
Yes.
I don't know who Alvin Adams is. I'm sorry.
Look at what I'm saying. Chill doesn't even know who he is.
That doesn't mean he can't be of a similar archetype. That's on Chill. That's on Chill. He's a similar archetype, a team that runs their offense through their center and his passing ability, who can stretch the defense beyond the free throw line. Sorry, there was no three-point line when Alvin Adams entered the league, but he was shooting jump shots. The offense was running through him. His playmaking was his best asset offensively.
No, Mars, you're capping. I don't care about what you're talking about. I watched him.
You should be very, very glad that he compared him to a great like Alvin Adams. Okay, look at Alvin Adams' rookie stats. 19
I know who he is.
Rebounds.
I'm telling you, I disagree.
6 assists.
And then he got want to get mad because I said SGA is closest. His closest counterparts are Jordan, Wade, and Kobe.
You said we've seen SGA before.
Similar, yes. I think Dwayne Wade, I think Kobe are very similar. But you can make real arguments. But it's not just because they're black. Like you made it because they're white. Alvin Adams didn't play anything like Joker. Played nothing like Joker at all in any way, shape, or form.
He looks like him.
No, he doesn't.
They're
he kind of does.
All right, fellas. Yo,
10 minutes on Alvin Adams.
We spent 30 minutes on Fred Van Vleet.
We spent 45 minutes on Fred Van Vleet. What are we doing?
Alvin Adams and Jokic conversations.
What do we have?
And then we have Fred Van Vleet.
Disgusting.
And Hakeem conversations.
Started because of Penn.
The only thing this could possibly lead into that would make any of this better is the best segment of the week. Top 5 comments, baby. Shout out to everybody that's been commenting on our posts. Shout out to everybody that consistently comments and likes. And shout out to everybody that leaves insightful thoughts that we get a chance to reflect on days like this. So let's get into it, y'all. Who were the top commenters this week? The first one is XMR.agenda. XMR said, Penn be cooking with Crisco powder.
Thank God that. Yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Penn cooks.
Some Crisco?
Except when we have to talk about Scotty Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. Then it gets
anything related to Toronto, Penn, you just lose all.
Hey, y'all got Crisco powder?
Can I let y'all know that I called in to chill with Chill, and it was the funniest shit I've ever seen because the caller before me wanted to compare Scotty Barnes to Scottie Pippen, and Chill took his headphones off and said, "Get him out of here, man! Get him out of here, Ox."
No, that's not all it was, Penn. He said that Scotty Barnes was a mix of Scotty and Magic.
Yeah.
He did say that. Yes, he did say that.
Penn, you be getting cooked with hot fish grease. I know that. I can tell you that.
Wait a second. I'm just curious to know, like, where y'all be finding Crisco?
No, it's not animosity. I just saw what I saw. My eyes saw what they saw. My ears heard what they heard. Everybody was on silence while Gifted, and then while Gifted was putting you in the fryer. You look like Popeye's chicken. You was the chicken that we had to wait 20 minutes for to get done. That was the chicken
let me yell over you. Let me yell over you. Yeah.
No,
now you're getting cooked. You're getting cooked, Swiper. You're getting cooked.
I will slow down for you, Penn. You got cooked by the material, homie, not because of the decibels. That's what happened.
The material is the material.
Gift did cook you
because of the material. Sante Aldama, Vorp, he cooked you. Brought up all your old little things you used to say. The nasty things you brought up.
That is
disgusting things you used to say.
That is a representation of what.
Not even 1 year ago, by the way. You said Cage Cunningham behind Southie Aldama less than a year ago.
I didn't say.
Yeah, but all right, Swiper, we're not gonna start bringing up lowlights though. Like,
everybody brings up mine. Everybody brings up mine. Why can't I bring up his? Let's bring up Mars. Let's bring up Mars. Don't bring up Chills. Let's bring up Ox.
This is the moment of endearment. We're supposed to be uplifting Penn right now. He got the comment of the week saying he be cooking with Crisco powder. And yes, Ox, I have seen Crisco powder before.
You a lie, bro. You ain't never seen no Crisco powder.
I've never seen Crisco powder before either.
Powder all the time.
I've never in my life seen Crisco powder.
Like in a powder form?
Yeah.
Is that what I'm saying? Okay. Is it like a flour variant? Like what is it? Like
that's just
you wouldn't know. You never cooked.
I don't know.
You wouldn't
know.
Crisco
in the can in my household was a liquid. It was not.
It's a lard. It's like a lard.
It's a lard. Yeah, it's not like a powder.
You cook with bottled water. Let's move on.
Penn, I don't know if y'all use Crisco. You might not know what Crisco is.
Lying. You just straight up lying.
There's nothing wrong with getting cooked.
You know, nothing wrong. I've been cooked before too. Mars tried to join in on the cooking for something I said in 2021. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let it slide.
No, because that was hilarious.
It happened 4 years ago.
Someone showed it in my replies.
Someone showed it in your replies.
They did, and I was like, "Oh, let me look this up." I was
like,
Mars. The way the PCL bracket is shaping up, you and me might actually be in the quarterfinals. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna remember this. I'm gonna file this under my brain.
I think you're gonna beat me, Ben. I think you're gonna beat me. So I think you'll
that makes the two of us. All right, that's perfect.
You go put that Crisco powder on your boy.
And you know what? I'm gonna bring some. I'm gonna bring a box of Crisco powder to the PCL debate just as visual aid.
Yeah, I think y'all should send that.
Hey, Pink gonna pull up like the old LeBron. He gonna get the Crisco powder. He gonna do this.
Where y'all gonna find this powder?
Serbian chicken.
Where y'all gonna get this Crisco powder from?
I don't know.
Y'all just keep watching Penn cook with this powder. All right, that's all y'all need to worry about. It's deadlier than gunpowder. Penn's Crisco powder. But all right, y'all, we gotta move on.
Yo, what is this?
Out to Avery, baby.
We got another one from Avery B.
Ron, are you reading that?
Ron, you need assistance?
We might be here for a while.
Right, go ahead, help your boy out, bro.
All right, here we go. Y'all. If I need some help, if my Wi-Fi cut out or anything happened, y'all just fill in for me. Thank you. This is what brothers are for. All right, Avery B said, some of the things you guys didn't consider with the injury talk is, 1, guys played more minutes per game than compared to today, mainly looking at the top stars. 2, even healthier, younger guys don't play all 82 compared to back in the day when a lot of your star players would play every game. Jokic and Tatum, who y'all mentioned as being very healthy, for instance, have never played all 82. Number 3, training and medical staffs and equipment. They used to ball in chucks, LOL, have increased exponentially over the years. Number 4, players fly on private planes, much more amenities and leg room.
With much more amenities. Focus, Ron. You good.
With much more amenities and leg room. Mm-hmm. The NBA even fixed travel schedules so teams fly less miles in a year compared to before. Number 5, NBA has lengthened the days of the season to decrease the number of back-to-backs, eliminated the 4-game in 4 nights completely, etc. Or in 5 nights completely, etc. They even made All-Star break longer to give guys more rest. If you include all of these things plus medical advancements, the players today really have no reason to miss as many games as they do compared to guys in the past. So even if the game is faster and more space to cover on the floor, the travel schedule, equipment, training staff / doctors, days of rest in between, less minutes, etc., should balance that out. But yet, in spite of all of this, we see a steady increase in games missed decade over decade, as Penn mentioned. Shaking my head.
I mean, are we seeing longer careers? I think that's something worth thinking about. Are we seeing guys consistently playing well over, 33, 34, 35, whereas before maybe we saw shorter careers? I would love to see some data on that. And, I'm going to stand on what I said. I do think that we ask players to do a lot more. And maybe players are more brittle. I don't know. Maybe guys back then were tougher. Maybe contracts, did you have to play hurt back then? Did you have to play through injury? And also to the criticism that these guys don't play 82. Are their teams letting them play 82?
That's important to mention. That is very much important to mention.
Everything he said is true. Like factually, all of those things are true. I think a team has played 4 and 5 nights. It might have been the Lakers because of the game got rescheduled because of the wildfires. So not like usual. I think they haven't had that in like 10 years. I think the biggest thing for me is like the medical advancements. I think people view that as that means players should be healthier. When I think medical advancements is probably the biggest reason why players are resting more now than ever. Because a smart doctor, smart medical person understands the importance of rest on the body. So they're probably suggesting the players sit out more. So you get the smarter medical you get the smarter people working for these teams. They're probably a big part of the reason why players are playing less, not why they should play more. But I could be way off on that. But that's what I think is happening. I think as you get more information, people understand the importance of time off. Not everything is just play every single game. Whereas back then it was if you can physically move, you can play. And I think that's cool. But you see guys and how that affects them later on in life. I think it's not the BOY. I think that's the difference. But I do think everything he said is still true. I just think the implications aren't necessarily right or I agree with.
The Celtics this year, they had two. I was just looking at their schedule. They had 2 instances. They played 4 games in 6 nights instead of 4 and 5. And they had 5 games in 7 nights instead of 5 and 6. So I mean that one extra day, it may help. I won't argue that. But a lot of these guys, and Ox and I had this conversation on Chill with Chill. A lot of these guys who are sitting out, they're not sitting out because they want to. And I think that they should be more vocal about that. A lot of these guys get scratched from the lineup and they're healthy. And it goes back to them being load managed when if you would go to the organization or even go to the press and make it clear, they're sitting me out tonight. It's not that I don't want to play and it's not that I'm physically unable to play. Zion Williamson did it this season when he said, they're sitting me out. I am physically able to play. If we had more of that, then maybe more guys would play.
Yeah, I still don't think that'll change much though. Like when teams have their regimens, when teams know what they want to do with their certain players, they're gonna sit you out. Like if they believe that we need to sit you once or twice a week so we can preserve you to the playoffs, that's what they're gonna do.
I think the Spurs started this, to some extent. Like it became very popular when Greg Popovich was doing this with the Spurs, and their success means there's going to be people who copy this. And you know what? Like, I'm for it. As long as you announce it early. I don't want to find out when I pay for tickets to a game at 6:30. At 6:30, I don't want to find out that my star player is resting that game. That's low. And I feel like a lot of teams do the shit on the road, and that really sucks because that might be the only time that it's a delicate balance. But it's like if I'm a Steph Curry fan and Steph Curry resting his only trip to Toronto, that's a low blow to the fans.
When Greg Popovich was doing it, it was almost much to do about nothing. It didn't become a big deal until later on when like more guys started doing it. And they took it from what Greg Popovich was doing. He would rest Tim Duncan. He would rest Tony Parker. He would rest these guys on road trips when they would go to the East. And some people made a little bit of grumble about it. There was a little bit of rumbling about it, but for the most part, it really wasn't that big a deal. It was just when it started to be a big deal. I think in this era, when guys were able to play and they weren't playing and they were getting contract extensions, people started to complain about it a lot more.
All right, y'all. The next comment of the week that we got is from Nook No Ball. Shout out to Nook. He knows ball. Nook said she'll be dying on hills that he can easily just slide down.
That's funny. That's a really funny comment.
That's not true. I will get off a hill
After about 2 weeks.
Are you about to die on this hill, Cho?
I'm not gonna die on this hill. No, I will definitely slide. That's not true. No.
See, disproving the narrative right
Yes,
there.
I
He just slid right down.
No, I will not die on. Now, don't get me wrong. Just like the rest of you guys, there are some things that you can't talk me off the ledge. But there are things that, wait a minute, you know what? I think you're right. I'm off that.
I'll never be able to talk
SGA and Jason Tatum conversations.
Yes.
That's not a ledge for you, though. That was a speed bump. I mean, I got ran over. I'm saying, like, the Wilt Chamberlain passing one is the one.
Oh, my God.
That's the one, Chill. That's the one that has to die.
Sorry.
Okay.
If Jokic improves as a passer, we can revisit the conversation.
Bro,
that's a fact.
I don't know how many.
It's interesting that Jokic has to improve instead of Chamberlain just being awesome. Like, Jokic, two things can be true. Jokic could be awesome, and Chamberlain could be awesome too. Those two things can very well be true.
If Wilt is better, then Jokic has to improve to be better than Wilt.
So improve in being even more awesome than what he already is.
That's how you become better than someone. Yes.
I just want to make sure that we're clear that just because you're not better than somebody, that doesn't mean that you're not fucking awesome.
No, but you're saying Wilt Chamberlain's a better passer than Joker, so he would have to become a better passer to pass Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah,
that doesn't negate. Well, when you have to improve at something. Yeah, you're not as good.
So what do you feel like? What do you feel like Joker doesn't do as good as Will as a passer?
What do I?
I mean, no, bring this back.
Well, sure, because you know who Swiper is. Swiper's a Joker guy, and we're not going to do this long, neither, Mars. For me, for me, it's just more of a preference thing. That's it. I'll take Chamberlain over Joker. Chamberlain being more.
This like when Penn takes Vince Carter over Prime T-Mac, like one of those kind of things.
When Chamberlain became more of a willing.
I did. No, I didn't.
No, you did not. You never did that.
Yes, he did.
W gaslighting.
When Chamberlain became more of a willing passer, I think that his passing improved exponentially. I just think it did. He got much better as a passer.
See,
when he became more of a willing passer.
See,
all right, y'all.
That's what Jokic needs to do. Be more of a willing passer.
Next comment of the week, kind of stemming off this last comment, is from Fab_Rice 95. Fab said Mars equals 09 LeBron. Penn equals 06 Kobe.
Okay.
Big Ox equals 17 Westbrook. Your Pat Statter. Swiper equals 18 Harden.
I actually like that one. Best
Chill equals Bobby Portis.
Oh my God.
Ron equals Jeremy Lin.
I don't know how I missed this comment, man.
Jordan equals 22 Curry. And John D equals the GOAT, Trae Young.
Okay,
only two of those players.
Who's Trae? Who is this Trae you speak of? Who's Trae? Who's Trae Young?
Respect Trae.
Oh, got you. The brother to Trae Young. I got you. How do you feel about being called Bobby Portis?
Best rotation player in the game. I'll take it.
Like 3 years ago.
I'll take it. Sure.
Once upon a time.
All I know is I was the best player up there.
Yeah. Is everybody else cool with who they got?
It was you. You was 06 Kobe?
Oh,
18 James Harden was there, by the way. But
06 Kobe was not better than 09 James. Stop. Relax.
09 James was a playoff. 09 James was a what was he?
Wait.
Let him die on that hill. Let him.
No, because I have heard, because I do this thing, right, where I listen to what Showtime Hoop says. You have said to me that in 09, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the world.
No, I said in 10. That's not true, Mars. I said in 10.
Okay, cool. Okay,
I said in 10.
Okay, so in 2010.
Yes, 2010.
Worst Kobe Bryant was the best player in the world. Okay. Which means he was better than LeBron James, who was also in the league at the time, winning the MVPs, doing all that stuff. So 2010, Kobe Bryant was the best player in the world. But somehow, 06 Kobe Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
who is substantially better
Yep.
than 2010 Kobe Bryant,
Mm-hmm.
isn't better than the same LeBron James that 2010 Kobe Bryant was better than.
Now let's rewind, Marge, and remember exactly what I said. I said in 09, I said I thought James was better than Kobe Bryant. In 2009, I said that. And I said in 2010, when Kobe Bryant won the NBA championship and won the finals MVP for the second year in a row, and he was in the finals for the third year in a row, even though I still felt like as a player, James was better, I couldn't deny it anymore, and I had to put Bryant ahead of him. Based off the logic that I had, going deep into the playoffs, winning the NBA championship like Bryant did, winning the league MVP, winning the finals MVP, both of those years, I had to put Bryant ahead of him based on that logic. That's what I said.
And that makes sense to you?
Yes.
LaRon Prophet,
Okay.
Brian Cook,
Yes.
Luke Walton, Devin George, Chris Mim, Smush Parker, Kwame Brown.
Yep.
Hey, respect.
That was my squad.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are we doing here?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough.
No,
05, 06 Kobe is definitely like, I think you can meld it. Like you could say the championship Kobe between the two championships. To me, that's the best version of Bryant I ever saw, where all the defense was still there. The offense was at a completely different level. The carry job that is, I mean, people give LeBron a big, W for carrying that team. There ain't nobody on this team that's even close to Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Like, I can't.
So Zydrunas Ilgauskas in 2009 in year 13. I think he only played 2 more years after that. Yeah. I think was Lamar Odom better than Zydrunas Ilgauskas in 2006? 2006 Lamar Odom, is he better than Zydrunas Ilgauskas in 2009? Yes, he is.
I'm taking 2009, yeah.
100% I'm taking him.
09 he had Mo Williams, right?
Yes. Yeah, he had
that was his second best player, not Lamar.
And then he had Larry Hughes too. Didn't he still have Larry?
Larry Hughes was not on the court.
No, I don't think so. This is when
that was Sasha.
Yeah, that was Sasha. Are you taking Pavlovic over the Sasha that Bryant had in 06?
Pavlovic.
How much was Vujacic playing?
I'm taking Lamar. I'm taking Lamar.
That's like rookie Vujacic.
I think he was in year 2, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you can.
Yeah, I don't think Sasha Vujacic was playing for him. He wasn't very good, but I don't think he was playing for him.
Right. Let's see who else. Are you taking Luke Walton over? Verjao?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Not a thought. No.
Whoa. Just to be clear, which Luke Walton? Like the
2006.
The early
2005, 2006 Luke Walton.
Early season.
No Luke Walton.
I know, but
2005, 2006.
In that NBA final versus Detroit, he had a really good game versus that Detroit team.
Okay, one good game. So we're talking about Luke Walton, bro. There's no version of Luke Walton I'm taking over Anderson Varejao.
Right.
That 06 Lakers team is worse than the 09 Cavs,
but Lamar Odom is Lamar Odom is the best player of all the other guys.
I think Lamar's better than Mo Williams.
I just want people to know this: Luke Walton in the game they won had 7 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks, and he was a plus 18 in the game they won. I remember that very vividly.
Using single game plus minus is so nasty.
But I remember the 8 assists like yesterday.
Is it? You remember the 8 assists?
I remember single game plus minus is the.
I thought Luke was going to be cold
of
after that game. I was like, man, he's a
he was a rookie, right? He was a rookie.
Yeah, it was rookie.
That was his rookie season.
Now again, I also suffer from
his father.
I suffer from the Lakers white boy malaise thing as a child. Like, they glaze all the white boys that play for that organization. Austin Reeves, Caruso, now Luka. He's going to be the greatest ever of all time, probably.
That's your childhood?
Year. Like, no, yeah.
No, he's saying they do it
everybody
now,
was
back in his childhood, he was doing the same thing.
Everybody was, Luke Walton 8 assists as a Laker next to Kobe and Shaq. Let's get it. He's about to be dirty. Yes, sir.
Pete Maravich,
Pete Maravich. Robert, what's his last name? Sark? Zachary? Sark?
Oh, that's like 2015.
Yeah, that's my dog. That was my dude. That was my dude.
Chris Mim.
But to answer your question, Mark, yes, it does make sense.
Okay.
Hey, chill. Once again, just like with the whole Fred Van Vleet thing, you by yourself with that one, brother. All right, we got one more comment of the week, And this is courtesy of Colin Grant 9126. Colin said, I think we really do need to start putting the refs in front of the media and reporters post-game and fine them if they don't do it.
No, I'm good.
I'm straight.
You cooking? You cooking?
I'm good.
You gonna
the fact that I know like 7 refs names is already 7 too much. I shouldn't know these dudes. They should be in the background. No offense. This
is the thing though, Penn. It doesn't have to be like right after the game. It doesn't have to be broadcasted on TNT, ESPN Sports Center. It doesn't have to be on First Take and all that. But there should be a press conference and there should be footage where you could have access to it if you want to. If you want to watch it, you can have access. And because chill, the thing about it is a lot of us, myself included, don't really understand the ins and outs of reffing basketball. You know what I mean? We don't understand what the refs are seeing, what the refs are supposed to be looking at. Right. I think being transparent is the best way to have a successful anything. You know what I'm saying? We got to be transparent. We need to be able to understand. We need to come from a place of understanding. The coaches talk, and I think that helps. Because a lot of us, we have no idea what the coaches are seeing, what they're going through. I think it'd be cool for the ref to come out and say, "Hey, I saw this. I'm looking from this angle. How you be breaking it down? Chill. He's the lead. He's the this. He's the that. A lot of us don't know that. I think it'd be cool for the ref to come out and talk about what they saw and what they think. It could give clarification, and honestly, it might help the refs. It might help the refs stop getting abused by fans and players and stuff like that. Because even the players, a lot of the players have no idea what the refs are supposed to be doing. They don't know the refs' job description. They're just out there yelling at refs, but they don't. Most of the players are ignorant to what the refs have to look at as well.
I think one of the biggest problems that referees have is you are in control of the game a lot more than people want you to be, and that was one of my biggest problems. Like, nobody bought a ticket to see me. You're involving me in the game. I'm not going to involve myself in the game, and referees get themselves in trouble doing that more than anything. And with that, I feel like the standard that referees are held to, as opposed to players, like Ox, you as a player, you could go 4 for 11 from the floor, 8 for 10 from the stripe, and you had a bad game. Ox, I missed 3 or 4 calls. I'm killing us.
That's unfair. That's unfair, Chip. I think it's unfair to hold to like what you just said. I think that's unfair to the ref, though. Like,
but that's what it is, though. How many times? Just last time.
But you're saying the ref's not a part of the game. The refs are 100% an integral part of the basketball game. Okay, they're in this, whether we want them to be or not. I don't want to see you. You the dude out there with the stripes looking like a zebra. We can all see you.
Again, there's a difference between me being a part of the game and me making myself a part of the game. Ox, you're gonna make me a part of the game. I'm not. Nobody can. The basketball game, that's what people came to see, and I'm gonna call the game according to how you play the game. I'm not gonna call the game how I think the game should be. No. Because again, nobody bought a ticket to see me. So when you foul, if you don't foul or you play a clean game, guess what, Ox? I ain't using my whistle. If this game is clean, I'm out of the way. And you can watch, and fans can watch you guys play. Nobody came to watch me blow the whistle or give a technical. Nobody came to watch me do that. But you're involving me in that.
That's a fact, too. But you got to understand, you making it seem like it's a possibility for players to be perfect and not foul and not travel and not make mistakes. It's not possible because they're human. So the fact that they're gonna do that, the refs are gonna blow their whistle, and then you're gonna interpret it as you're making yourself a part of the game. No, I saw a foul. I'm doing my job. You're mad because you think it should be one way, and I'm the ref. I got the whistle. I'm telling you, this is what happened. So now you interpret it as, oh, the ref just wanted to be involved. The ref wants to. Well, I don't think that's fair to the ref, and I think the ref should have a chance to either defend himself or just explain what happened in the game.
People are always upset with refs because there's a difference between reffing to the letter of the law versus reffing to the spirit of the game. And I do think it's different. So that Derek Queen buzzer beater yesterday, a lot of people felt like it was a travel. Gather step, 1, 2, shot, goes in. Are you calling a travel on a game winner? Who benefits from that? Colorado State benefits from that. But it's like, that's the kind of thing. It's like you want to call every single foul on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and then give the fans 12 minutes of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You know what I mean? It's a very delicate balance. It's really hard to do a good job as refs. And I do think that the speed of the game means that we probably need one more ref. There used to be 3. There's still 3. There should probably be 4. That's where I'm at right now. The game is moving too fast for 3 refs to keep up. And I think every second or third night, there's one of those, oh, that was the worst game I've ever seen refed. Yeah, that's fair. You know, and sometimes I think refs get a little too emotional, and you know, I think that's when it makes the whole thing look bad. But I think for the most part, refs try to do their best.
All right, y'all. Shout out the refs, and it's also a couple other things that need to be shouted out too. First and foremost, the Hall of Famers on this channel. Shout out to Multi Kenny. Shout out to Vale. Shout out to Cheese, especially because Cheese is out here doing the Lord's work, gifting Players' Choice memberships. Salute to Cheese and salute to everybody that got one of those memberships. Shout out to SSGSS Popo. Shout out to Tyrus Williams. And last but not least, we have a new Hall of Famer, y'all. This Hall of Famer goes by the name of Minor. Big ups to Minor. Appreciate you for becoming a Hall of Famer. If you're not becoming a Hall of Famer, or if you haven't become a Hall of Famer yet, consider it. And also, too, shout out to everybody that is just a member, and shout out to everybody that's liked the video. Aside from that, fellas, we got some super chats, so I'm gonna get around to those here in a second. Also, I do want to talk briefly about the new matchups in the PCL. In case y'all don't know, last Friday we announced who will be advancing in the PCL, and we also announced the matchups. Well, these actually are the dates now. So the Sweet 16 of the PCL, we have on Sunday, March 30th. We'll be seeing Mars versus Cowboy Bob. Then we got Swiper versus Real Talk. Then we got Chill versus SB Talk Sports. Then we got Hayes versus Brax the Bandit. Then we got Gifted versus Jordan. That's Sunday, March 30th. The very next day, Monday, March 31st, we have Big Ox versus ZZ. We have Dion from Ohio versus John D. And then we have Penn versus Logan from Nerd Sesh.
Those two are going to be good. Dion versus John D. That's going to be really good. And the reason why is because I saw Dion. If he think he's going to push John D around, he got something else coming, because that's not going to happen. And that Penn and that Penn and Logan debate, that's Harvard and Dartmouth right there. So,
oh Lord, am I Harvard?
Yeah.
Nice. Can I ask a question? Why am I closing out the PCL 2 rounds in a row?
Because everyone's tired. You put everyone to sleep. Match made in heaven.
Perfect.
You the headliner.
No, you're the main event. That's the
headliner.
I was just curious. I was curious.
Shout out to everyone up here getting through their first rounds. Shout out to everyone.
Okay, dude, Mars, predict the rounds now, Mars. Since we're here.
Do I need to bring up the bracket?
Yeah, I need to see this. I need to hear. I need to hear.
Ron.
I want to hear the logic to Mars, please.
You got quite a bit of misses from last round, Mars.
Quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
All right,
but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, he went 50%, something like that.
No, he went over 50%.
All right, here we go, y'all.
I was right about me winning. Yeah.
All right, hold on. Well, let me get the advancements. I'm gonna zoom in. All right, obviously Mars, Cowboy Ox,
Cowboy Bob.
Cowboy Bob.
Oh, my bad. So, Gifted advanced by the skin on his teeth. Jordan got by. Big Ox. ZZ by technicalities. 10. Logan. Oops. Chill.
Oh, you troll.
SB. Swiper. Real Talk. Hayes. And damn, Pirate. Hey, Pirate got jacked by a bandit. So, all right, we're just going to start at the top, Mars, and we're going to get your new predictions.
I'm a bet on myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know who else bet on himself? Fred Van Vleet. Go ahead.
Nice. I'm a bet on my hoop talk co-host. Won't be my co-host if he doesn't win. Do I go against Jordan back to back?
Oh my!
This is the battle that you
are you crazy?
But then
Morris,
but if I go against
just
Gifted,
apologize to him, and now you got Gifted over him. Get out of here, man.
I went against Gifted in the first round and he got through. So both of them, whoever I
Which
go against,
was
I'm
not
going against
right.
That's neither here nor there.
Penn just don't like Gifted.
Yeah, he doesn't like Gifted because he fried him on Playback. So animosity.
That's
well,
he didn't like him before that. Remember, that's where
yeah.
the
This
whole
is
Vortex
this is
take
from
of
the
him
first.
I'm gonna
started.
go.
Yeah, first PCL. Remember?
I'm gonna go with Gifted. Then I'm gonna go with
What?
I know one thing, right
Sorry.
quick, Mars, before you keep advancing.
Mhm.
Gifted. Gifted,
Bracket
if you
is
are listening,
fried.
if you are listening, Gifted, don't be mad at the chat, don't be mad at the viewers, and don't be mad at us for us all pointing out that your first round performance just was not Gifted-esque. All right.
Can we give Renegade credit instead of acting like Gifted just did poor? Renegade did a really good
What
job.
was the first round, Mars?
What was the
So
first
then
round?
Renegade should have gotten through. Mars.
Yeah, the one
I think Renegade
that
should have gone.
well, the one that people were saying that was I don't know, because I didn't watch it because I wasn't able to. So
I can't remember what his topics were besides the Pelicans.
Ron, do you remember?
combining the two non-playoff
Hold
teams.
on, wait. I'm about to pull it up. Right
What is this controversy about? Because I feel like this has been a lot of smoke outside of the chill Mike one.
Hey, it was just Renegade just
What
came
were
with
their
it.
topics?
But I'm getting to
One
it
of them
right
was the
now.
most clutch player in the NBA. It was Jokic and SGA. Gifted had SGA. Renegade had Jokic.
That was the first topic.
And the middle topic
It was Tyler Hero versus Tyrese Maxey.
Tyler Hero and Tyrese Maxey, and Renegade had Tyler Hero and Gifted had Tyrese Maxey. If I remember correctly, I think I had Renegade winning this last two rounds, so round 2 and round 3. But anyway, Big Ox and ZZ. I got ZZ.
You guys easy getting work. That's what you got.
For sure.
Mars, do you have ZZ getting work or do you have ZZ?
I got ZZ advancing to play his From the Logo brother.
Mars gonna keep going against me because he really don't want it with me. Mars knows what's up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
From
I
the logo
heard that theory going out there on Saturday. Pen and Logan.
Mars, do you watch? Hold on, Mars. Do you watch the show?
I tap him on occasion when I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, Mars, you heard what? You heard what on Saturday?
I didn't know that you watched the show, Mars. That's dope.
People, names weren't said, but we know people are trying to skew the competition to make sure they don't go up against the real comp. They're trying to adjust it so they have the favorable matchups. Pen and Logan, I got
Probably so.
Pen and Logan. I'm gonna go with Pen. I think Pen gonna win. Chill's gonna beat SB. It's a
Hold on
bye.
right quick. So you said who do you got between Pen and Logan?
Who did I just say? Pen, right?
You did.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're not too confident.
I just forgot what I said.
Don't
I
worry.
got Pen.
I'm not too confident either.
And then between Chill and having a bye, Chill's gonna go through on the technicality.
Come on, man.
SB sucks. I don't know what to tell you. SB sucks. Swiper and Real Talk. Now it depends on that Jokic topic. I'm gonna go with Swiper though. Swiper's more comfortable in the stat world. Real Talk is out of his
I was about to say that, Mars. I think you're gonna bury him in numbers. That's what I think.
Real Talk
Talk
tries to be in the stat world, and he's just not comfortable there. You can.
I think Swiper's gonna bury him in numbers.
I got analytics. That's gotta suck.
I got Swiper winning
basketball.
that one, and then I got Brax beating Hayes.
The bandit to the Elite Eight, baby.
That's what I got. Yeah.
All right.
Am I doing the rest?
Nah, we don't have to. But this is what Mars Elite Eight.
You got 3 more questions, Ron. Just let him have it.
All right, come on.
I don't want to have to pick between Hoop Talk. Either way, Hoop Talk wins.
I can tell you right now who you're picking. Can I just tell you who Mars would pick? Make this real easy. He picks himself.
Okay, interesting.
Of course.
Okay.
He picks ZZ. Am I wrong?
Okay. No, I picked
what?
Gifted.
What?
He'll take Gifted.
Okay.
Just because he fried you doesn't mean
because you want to win. That's why you picking Gifted. You doing this whole thing to.
I beat both of them last year. I'm
Okay,
fine
he
either
picks
way.
Gifted. All right,
Yeah.
go ahead.
God damn.
He picks me,
Yes.
and he picks Swiper.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Does he?
Yes, he does.
I pick Swiper. Yeah.
Yes, he does.
All right.
Okay.
Just making sure.
Then in the next round, he picks himself.
Absolutely.
No, he picks Gifted.
Absolutely.
No, he doesn't.
Okay, all right.
Gifted, your run is over, and he picks me.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I think
Swipe
so.
Ken, are you gonna get buried in the advanced analytics swiper?
Look, I think anybody can beat anybody. So
Ain't gonna use your
just here.
Yeah, I think I would favor Penn, but it all comes down to the topics. Like I could lose to anyone, just depends on if they give me doo-doo topics, and same with anyone else. So it just depends on the topics. And then
That sounds like an
Sure.
excuse. Nah, man, you gotta research. Okay, he picks me, and then he picks himself to win the championship again,
I
and he
don't
gets
know.
his second belt.
I think he would pick you, Penn.
No,
he doesn't.
if I make it to the final, I'm
He's
Michael
gonna
Jordan
win.
when it comes to getting to the finals. I get to the finals, I'm gonna win.
Yeah. There
I
you
might
go.
not get there every time, but if I get there, I'm gonna win. That's gonna happen.
I
So
really,
if I make it to the final,
Okay.
I'm 87%.
I just want to apologize in advance.
I like the
to.
87%.
I want to apologize to Jordan. I want to apologize to Jordan, and I want to apologize to ZZ for the disrespect that you just showed him, picking Gifted over them.
You know how
That's
much
crazy,
he hates Gifted? That's how you know,
bro. It's not hate.
That's how
It's just
you
it's
know.
it's an acknowledgement.
it is.
It's an acknowledgement of who you just put him over. Jordan just beat your favorite, and you put a guy who you didn't even have coming out of the first round. Not only before the fact,
Renegade
by
was
the
like
way,
that.
by the way,
Renegade was like
not
that.
only did you not have Gifted coming out of the first round before the matchup, you watched him debate and picked against him. That's how much you don't respect Jordan.
Yeah,
And
you
you
know,
still don't respect
I
Jordan.
respect
And Jordan
I
gonna
think Gifted is
smoke
good.
that clown.
Ben, didn't you say that you had a change of heart this year? Why do you have so much anguish and hostility for Gifted?
Because he
Pride
put
on
Scotty Barnes
pride.
on the bench. That's it.
Because what?
You put
'Cause he-
Scotty
'cause he
Barnes on the
put Scotty
bench
Barnes on
for
the bench.
Herb Jones. You lose.
Okay, but I'm probably putting Scotty
A
Barnes
part
on
of
the
me
bench
is
for a few
hoping
players
for a
in 21
Gifted
too.
10 finals. Just
Hang
to-
on.
just
It's
to-
not about 21. Gifted. Sorry. My bad. Swiper. My bad. That was a total Freudian slip because you pretty much
people
took it away
said-
points. If you put a combined team of the Raptors and the Pelicans, I have no problem with you bringing Zion up as the first player that you want to build around. But if
Absolutely,
the
'cause he's
second
best.
player that you bring up as your this is why my team is good is Jakob Poeltl, and the third player you bring up is Emmanuel Quickly, and the basis of that bring up is their defense is so good, and the fourth player you bring up is CJ McCollum, and then you talk about Herb Jones, and you don't even talk about Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett and Brandon Ingram, then to me, you are dumb as hell. Not only do you lose the debate, you lose your spot on PC. Like that is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It is.
Didn't you say Russell Westbrook's not a top 50 passer of all time?
You
even
just
without
said
pure hate?
Fred Van
Yep.
Vleet is a smarter defender than Hakeem an hour ago.
And both of those things
Yep.
are objectively wrong.
No.
We had a 30-minute argument about Fred Van Vleet and Hakeem Olajuwon.
We're not getting
And
into that.
you live in your own world, Ken. Fact, you just live in
We had
your
a
own.
30-minute argument about that. That is
Like
nuts.
you just live in your own world, dog.
I just don't
shit.
look. Hakeem Olajuwon was the #1 player in the country.
But since he was big,
picked
strong,
over-
fast, and because he was big, fast, and strong, he couldn't have been IQ because he was.
No
because
one
he's
called
little,
him dumb.
because he's little.
I'm not.
I didn't
calling
say
him
you called
dumb.
him dumb, Pin. I'm just saying that you're saying that people that have less attributes must have higher IQs. Okay, we get it.
What
All
I'm trying to tell you is that a player who overcomes being undrafted and becomes an all-star.
right. Are we gonna go through this again?
No, we not. No, we not, Ox. No,
Brad
we not.
Miller-
Go ahead, Ben. Keep
Brad
going.
Miller,
Sound like we are.
Brad Miller,
not.
Fred Van Vleet, Ben Wallace. Okay, 3 of, in my opinion, the smartest players I've ever seen.
What about Matthew Dellavedova?
Sure, he's up there too.
Shout out to the NBL
Any-
Finals MVP.
any-
despite
Yeah,
losing.
Deli. I seen that, Deli.
Any person who
You seen him? You seen him
overcomes-
give it? You seen him give it
Look,
up?
man.
Mhm.
Look, man.
Fact,
Anyone who's,
I wouldn't
I
have
mean,
gave a
some of
shit.
y'all,
No,
are
I
freaking-
wouldn't either. I'm just saying that was a
Some of
class
y'all are freaking
Hey.
giants. Okay, so you've never been 6 feet tall or 5'11" and been vertically challenged and been
Yeah,
pinned to a
6
backboard.
feet tall,
I have.
that's
Well,
Okay?
I think everyone who's
Freshman-
6'9" was
Freshman
5'11".
season,
That's how you
sophomore
come to-
season,
That
I've
works.
been pinned to the
That works.
backboard.
Yeah,
many
I
times.
don't-
I don't think
You're
being
just-
6 feet tall is like
I wouldn't know he's
that's
6'4",
actually
but
taller
it was
than
time when I was
most people.
5'11". That happened before.
right.
Being 6 feet tall on a basketball court,
Are
Swiper
you talking about
is-
just purely NBA? I mean, yeah, but you keep
no, I'm
saying
not
this
talking
about-
purely NBA. I'm
but you
talking
keep
G
saying-
League. I'm talking Europe.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
talking
basketball.
Division 1.
Yeah, hoops.
6 feet is small.
Yeah,
Okay.
basketball,
And if you don't
basketball.
have sort of elite athleticism or elite burst or crazy wingspan, you are absolutely at a crazy disadvantage.
100% you are.
We no one
100%,
disagrees with you, Penn. I think
nobody's arguing
no,
that.
but chill. This is my issue with Penn. This is my issue with Penn. Everyone already agrees with your first assessment. Your problem is you go on these tangents unnecessarily so about things no one is arguing with you against. We all agree Fred Van Vleet has had to mold and craft his game in a very particular way because he's short, shorter, slower, and less athletic than his counterparts within the NBA. We're pushing back on nonsensical arguments saying he's in the same IQ chamber as players like Hakeem and Duncan and KG, as good as he is. But I can acknowledge that being shorter, obviously, it matters. The same way with Ox. Ox is the tallest one in PC with Dell. There are advantages that Ox had as a hooper, as a basketball player. But honestly, if you get Ox and Ron in a one-on-one situation, I'm taking Ron because there are things there are things that he does at a better level in a one-on-one setting than Ox does. Clearly.
You don't know that. No. Wait a second. You don't know that.
I'm taking Trey over everybody in PC.
I just want to say,
I'm taking Trey over Ron, Ox, all of them. He's 50 years old.
Swiper makes these assessments, and you have no idea. Hold on, Penn. Because now I'm taking this shit personal. Because now we talking about
see what you started, Penn.
Swiper says this shit, and he has no idea what he's talking about. He's taking Ron because Ron cooked him. Ron cooked him. Swiper, you're not me. You're not on my level. All right. So don't just because somebody.
Swiper, you don't have Ox's defensive attributes. That's literally Fred Van Vleet.
Exactly.
Versus Hakeem.
Exactly. Swiper, just because somebody came through and took your bike, don't mean they leave it with mine. Okay.
Like I said, I'm taking Trey over everybody in PC. Ron, Ox, Chill, everybody.
Trey, you know what? Shout out to Trey. That's my man and all that. But even he know better than that. You know what I'm saying? He know better than that. Swiper, you might know Swiper, you'll get tricked by a whole bunch of just yapping and throwing up left hand. You get swindled by all that dipsy do. Swiper, you know what, man? You know what? Next time, no, because just last time in San Francisco, chill. You was there, everybody was there. Just this last time in San Francisco, he was talking that good shit in the studio. Me and JD leave to go get some pizzas. I see a hoop across the street. I'm willing to go to Big Five and get the ball right now. I can't crease these.
What shoes did I have on that day? What shoes did I have on?
You got more shoes.
Exactly.
You could.
We were 20 minutes away from our hotel.
I told you. Okay, we don't got to play once. We can just shoot about it. I'll take my shoes off.
All this yelling. It got nothing to do with what I said. You can think you can beat me.
You're not no real athlete. You're not no real competitor. You're not
no real competitor. I just know my lane. But chill. This is the difference. I know my lane. I'm not talking one-on-one heavy.
No.
I'm talking about Ron and Trey and Dell. Matter of fact, Dell was getting you to work too. Since you want to do all that yapping, Dell was putting you on a poster too.
How come?
Face up minis all day in Indianapolis. I ain't gotta talk about me. You know why? Because I know amongst other basketball players, I'm the worst player in the group. I'm good with that. Dell's better, Trey's better, Ron's better. But guess what, Ox? You fourth on that list. That's all I do know without a shadow of a doubt. And if Chill was 8 years younger in his 40s, I'd take Chill over you. If Mars took better care of his body, I might take Mars.
No, Penn. Everybody sees what Swiper
Mars could be Fred Van Vleet. You're not taking him over Ox.
Hold on, Penn, because Penn, you won't even need that. Swiper gets cooked, and that's what. No, hold on, Ron. Because Swiper starts yelling over this mic. He don't want nobody to hear the truth. It's always this on the show, but when I see Swiper, it's always what's up. It's always good. He's not this competitive in real life. He's not this big.
In what?
In real life. What I'm saying is in real life.
So if I know that I'm not a hooper around other hoopers who all played collegiately or all played in the pro, why would I be delusional? What do you want me to be pinned and be delusional? I know who I am. I know where I stand. I'm good with that. Everybody in the chat, we understand one of us was a great football player. The other of you were great basketball players. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm good on that. Chill. Know your role. Hey, Chill. How did the saying go? Know your role and shut your mouth. I know my role here.
That's what I'm saying. No, your role is shut your mouth.
It's not to be a hooper. But you better believe, as somebody who watched y'all play, I know who the best is.
So Ron, real quick, Ron, just so you know, Ron, real quick, so we clear.
And then
just so we clear,
all the way down here.
I just want to make sure that we clear.
Just tell the truth. Keep it real. Keep it real. Stop playing. You was there. How come everybody chill? Hold on, chill. How come everybody that he said can get in me is always ducking? Who's always ducking? That's all I'm asking.
You ducking Oxford?
That's what I'm hearing. I'm specifically when I said that, I was specifically talking to Dale. How come somebody always ducking me?
But Dale was there. Dale was there in Indiana. But even still, so Ron, the way I see this whole thing, with this whole Fred Van Vleet thing, you could dress a 6 up and turn her into an 8. Fine as hell. Okay. She ain't never gonna be a 10.
I'm gonna make a.
And she does not get in the conversation of a 10.
Oh my God, you guys!
I ask you one question.
That's all.
Give it a rest.
I'll ask you one question. I'll literally ask any one of you this one question and literally open it up to the panel. I do a brain surgery. We're just talking smarts, right? We're talking who's the smartest defender. I take Fred Van Vleet's brain and I put it inside Kevin Garnett's head, or I do the same thing with Hakeem. How much better or how much worse those guys get?
Significantly. I could just argue he doesn't have the same rim protecting instincts because Fred Van Vleet isn't wired to have rim protecting instincts because
he's small. Yeah, because he's small.
But he still protects the rim.
Pink, can I ask you a question?
As a guard, yes. Low man instincts are very different when you are the anchor as opposed to being able to come down as a 6 foot.
Honestly,
very
Pink, can I ask you a question, Pin?
Go ahead.
Why does this even matter? He
is
who he is.
Because you said the smartest defender of all time.
Okay, I get that. And you've turned this into 3 different debates throughout this show. This is what I'm trying to tell you, though. Regardless of how smart he is, he still is not better than a list of guys that you could throw out there.
Nobody
why does it matter?
Because
I'm trying to no, it's not.
It is a
disingenuous. Why does something matter if you're not a better player than someone? That's disingenuous.
No, this is the point I'm trying to make.
Kyrie's the best ball handler of all time, but he's not better than Steph at basketball. So why does it matter? That's
okay. This is what I'm saying. So I'm saying, but no, because Kyrie's ball handling equates to how good he is as a basketball player.
But he's not better than Steph. So why does it matter how good of a ball handler?
No, this is the point I'm trying to make. This is the point I'm trying to make.
That he's making.
Regardless of how smart Fred Van Vleet is, it still doesn't put him into these conversations.
He is okay. Hang on.
We're doing this again.
First,
no, we're not.
We're not doing shit.
I want to take it back on the PC.
I want to just say this. Look, what's happening with March Madness right now, and I'm hoping that you take this as a nice little swerve.
Shaq is the best player in PC. We agree with that, Ron?
That's not a question about it.
Not a question.
No, Shaq know what time it is, but it's not really a question.
What happens with young players is
Swiper, you think Shaq the only professional nigga that thing got locked up and out of
Shaq is still playing and in his prime.
I'm still playing it in my prime. Now, when y'all see me in Indiana,
I saw you. Ron. I saw you get gassed in 5-on-5. I'm just saying that, like,
you see me out of shape.
Pin bringing up stuff about nobody. I'm not gonna lie. We are over the Fred Van Vleet talks. We good. Whatever you say, Pin, we good. We agree with you. All right, let's just move on. You won that round. We'll move on to round 2 and 3 at some point. I'm conceding round 1 that you took an L, but we'll call it a W. Ron, I'm saying Shaq is still playing overseas right now.
I'm still playing right now. All right. When you see me a couple months ago, you see me slowing out of shape. And you
couldn't stay in front of me one-on-one and I didn't even have a ball. Shaq to eat your lunch. Cut the shit, bro.
Ass Shaq.
I'm sick of you.
Ass Shaq.
I ain't even had a ball in my hand. You couldn't stay in front of me. Shaq,
wait. Why do I got to ask Shaq? What about Trey? Ron, hold on. Ron, what about Trey? What about Trey? Trey didn't have the highlight. He didn't have the highlight of the weekend against you.
Trey, what?
Nah, Gifted had the highlight of the weekend, but that's
Did you come to Manhattan the next month when me, Ron, and Trey was all there?
No, I wanted to go. But y'all didn't invite me. Y'all didn't invite me.
You didn't.
Y'all didn't invite me. I wanted to go.
Swiper, come when we really playing ball. Don't come.
I agree. I'll come to that.
Don't come when we out here on some PC weekend playing around bullshitting. Come when we really playing ball. Yeah, what? Swiper, stop playing with me, bro. Come when we really playing ball.
I'm saying I'm gonna show up. If you invite me to be there, I'll show up. I'm gonna tell you what happened though. I told Ron, if y'all actually, because first off, we're supposed to be on this Tough Mudder trip anyway. I already got started.
I'll keep telling you.
I'm started already. So I'm saying that if everybody want to get involved, let's do it. Ron, I told you, if you actually said you want to do some real hoop stuff, like you want us to do PC versus numbers on the board, PC versus whoever, Gills Arena, whatever you want to do, bro. If you give me like 4 to 5 months, bro, I'll be in like crazy shape. If you want to do it,
you could get into great shape.
But I'm saying like
summer coming soon.
Yeah, I'm saying, you waiting too long. Let's get
Ox. No, I'm saying I'm good. Literally, I'm I'm already in shape. I'm talking about hoop shape because that's a different kind of shape. That's a different kind of shape. I can run miles and all that stuff. But if you're talking about hoop, bro, yeah, you give me, bro. I'm telling you, we can lock in and have the best hoop YouTube show. Period. Maybe outside of like Jeff Teague and them, if they like come.
Them niggas can get it too. See, y'all be scared of the same shit. Brandon Jennings.
I'm being real. I'm just being real.
I'm being real too. Jeff Teague don't want it. All right, I'm being real, and I put that on everything.
Now look, with that being, but not being scared of Gil is crazy.
Well, not being scared. It's not. No, Pin.
You're not scared of anybody.
Language. No one is afraid. I'm being realistic about a younger player closer to their prime.
Gilbert Arenas is 42, 43.
That's what I'm saying. He's
I am
older.
33 years old.
Like I'm not. And then on top of that, respect Josiah and them, like in McCants and all them stuff, man. They be sitting around and lounging, bro. Like I seen them play all the time. Now Brandon probably would still be a problem. But I'm saying, like,
I don't care if Gil is 43. He can still get buckets.
But I'm not saying these dudes get to a certain age though, like they still good. Like they're still good basketball players.
Shoot. Gil can shoot.
Yeah, they can still shoot, but they probably not really. They probably not really, you know. It's probably not going to be in shape enough to be doing all that, but I don't really know. All I'm saying,
Gil a problem though. Hey, Penn, regardless, like I'm not saying that to say Gil weak now or trash or anything. Gil a problem, and Gil will give me a couple buckets too. He'll probably give me a lot of buckets.
The next time you want playback with Gil, I want you to bring this up, and I want to hear you. I want to hear him laugh you out of the.
But see, here's the thing though, and I'm a laugh.
What's the laugh mean?
Talking about
everyone was laughing about gifted cooking. You all of a sudden you still disagree. So
I'm Penn. I'm not discrediting him at all.
Ron, but you got to remember though. Penn don't know. Penn probably don't think you good at basketball or something. He probably think.
I think Ron's good. I've seen Ron play.
You ain't never really seen anybody play though. That's what I'm saying.
I have seen you guys play. We think I research
again. If we doing fives, I think legitimately based on hoops, I think we can actually run. That's
First of all, I think we actually could like. So I could tell who you are from how you dribble up and down the court for like 6 possessions. I could tell how you play. I don't need to see Chill in his prime to be able to tell you Chill can hoop. I can see Chill can hoop. I don't need 10, 15, 18
Chill at this point
games
is a coaster. He coasts and like gets his spots because he knows like Chill. If Chill needed to lock in for like 10 possessions, he could, but Chill just don't because Chill is smart. He don't need to. He got nothing to prove.
In his footwork that he knew how to play basketball at some point.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
And Swiper, I can see in your footwork that you don't. So that's it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Penn. Like we're not the same. I'm saying
because you're a football player, so it doesn't matter.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like now I'm going too far. What I'm saying is like the reason why I'm bringing up the athlete stuff is like you give me minutes to like go play hoops again, like I used to when we were winning titles and that we were all state AAU. That's a different deal. I don't hoop like that no more. I just work out. I run. I'm agile as crap. That's a
so you'll be better if you get in shape.
Agile.
No, I'm talking about basketball shape. Is very
So if you get in the gym, you'll be better, right?
100%.
Okay.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Matter of fact, Penn already got it lined up with Jordan. Next time we see each other, Jordan got to check up.
Yeah, Jordan too.
So you know what I'm saying? We definitely got a lot of work to do because I feel like every time we get together doing some PC weekend, any type of meetup, anything, we supposed to get in the gym. We supposed to hoop. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel about it. I feel like we talk about a lot of basketball. We gotta hoop. We gotta get matchups.
Who would win in a 2-on-2? Who would win on a 2-on-2? You and Mars or me and Jordan?
Me and Mars. What?
Okay.
Me and Mars.
Is Mars gonna shoot? Is Mars gonna shoot the ball? That's really the question. Can Mars be protesting?
Mars shoot the ball. Mars can do anything he wants to. We still blasting y'all. Like, we doing y'all dirty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other hoop questions?
Penn, Jordan's like 6'2", 6'3", bro.
Ron, are you second best player in PC, Ron?
I'm just saying. I'm getting anything I want.
Might be the best.
I'm gonna get on my Fred Van Vleet bag and just completely ignore Mars. W, swipe down on the post, strip it away with your loose ass handle.
It's nothing y'all could do, Penn. It's nothing y'all could do.
Okay.
Absolutely nothing y'all could do, Penn. Y'all are
Why am
way
I
too
being
little.
left wide open? But
I just know chill sitting here being silent.
We giving you the Scotty
on,
Barnes treatment. Okay,
and to be in the corner.
Scotty Barnes, Draymond Green
in the post.
I will say this though, tonight, the NC State is they are killing Michigan State right now. Real quick, Mark, can I get a second, Ron? I just want
hold
to
on,
say,
right quick before you get into that. I've been trying to get around to the March Madness point. But we've been arguing about Fred Van Vleet and Lord knows what for the last.
This is the panel. This one
March Madness legend.
But hold up though, right quick before we get into that, I just do want to do a quick promotion on an actual March Madness debate that happened actually on the Players' Choice platform in the Parley forum. Mars versus EZ, a 16 seed to the NCAA championship. If you guys haven't seen this yet, go check it out because ZZ picked an awesome player, and Mars picked a player that we've never seen in NCAA format, but he made a compelling point. But y'all make sure to go check this out if you haven't, and like the video as well. Ox, as you were saying,
I just wanted to just real quick, I wanted to shout out two players in particular from this weekend. I wanted to shout out Tamara Poindexter from Kansas State. They knocked off Kentucky and Georgia Moore. She hit 8 threes to bring that team back and win that game. She had a hell of a game. I also want to shout out Brooklyn Meyer from South Dakota State. They beat Oklahoma State. She was playing amazing. She was getting busy on the block. She was outside probably about 3-4 inches against what's her name? Tanin Magasa. Bro, that was a game. If y'all missed that game, I'm sorry for you, bro. The Oklahoma State versus South Dakota State was a great game. I'm really hoping.
No love for Sarah Strong.
I didn't watch that game.
Oh,
shout out Haley being lit too, by the way.
I didn't watch. I watched
Haley cooking.
And TCU dropping Louisville.
Louisville, yeah. That was only the second half. TCU got Notre Dame next. They got Notre Dame next.
Ooh, that's that's the game of the tournament so far.
Well,
FSU versus LSU so far is gonna FSU versus if y'all not paying attention to LSU and FSU this year is great, man. It's gonna be a great match.
Speaking of Sarah Strong, though, South Dakota State, they got UConn next. Now, obviously, UConn is the heavy favorite as they should be, but Sarah Strong might have her hands full though.
Who's been the best player in the tournament so far?
I can't say, bro. It's probably. I mean, Hannah's been
kind of too early to call.
Yeah, it's a lot too early. But I mean, the top teams like for instance Notre Dame, they've been playing inferior competition. I was watching South Carolina last night. They was they still beating everybody up right now. So right. I think the Sweet 16 I think is where we're going to start having a lot of those games like TCU versus Notre Dame should be big. But I'm trying to tell y'all the national championship game is going to be the best game when North Carolina State and Texas meet in the national championship game.
That's who's on the Texas side? Is South Carolina on Texas side?
Yes, South Carolina's on the Texas side. Yeah.
I just want to quickly point out that UConn beat Arkansas State 103-34.
They beat them by 80. Smoked them.
We expect them to win by at least about 50, 40.
But it's worth noting that Sarah Strong became, I think, if I'm not mistaken, the first player or at least the first freshman in NCAA history to have 20 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 blocks in the same game. Mm-hmm. She did it in 21 minutes. Think about that. Think about that, man. That's the number one player in the country last year in terms of the high school players. She's joining up with prohibitively, I think, going to be the number one pick in this year's draft, Paige Beckers. Let's go. I mean,
that's a fact. But with that being said, though, the first 1 or 2 rounds of the women's tournament, like those stats are so they're going to be so inflated, and that's no knock to Sarah, but I'm just saying like her competition, they're far inferior at that point, which is not her fault. That's not. Oh, you know what I'm saying? She put the work in to be this good. I'm not trying to. There's no asterisk.
Freshman.
I'm not saying that.
She's a freshman.
I know that. I know that.
She's not that big.
I understand everything you're saying, Pin. I know that already. I'm just simply saying, like, the stats at this point in the tournament are going to be really big. But shout out to her though, bro. I'm not trying to take nothing away from her. I agree with you. I think she's.
If you beat a team by 30, if you beat a team by 40, when you smoke a team by 70, that's not stats. That's history. That's where I'm at right now.
Hey, Ox. So did you see the list that what's the name came out with? And this is the talking point for you in particular.
What the best college?
Yes. Did you see that list that came out the other day? So from Fox Sports, So they had Brianna Stewart,
Yep.
won, Caitlin Clark, Diana Taurasi, Cheryl Miller, Shamika Holtzclaw,
Yep.
Maya Moore, Brittany Griner, Candace Parker, Aja Wilson, Lynette Woodard. Obviously, some no Tina Fowles, like
I did see that.
Atlanta Dana Dawn, like
Atlanta Della Don not being there I wasn't sure. I don't understand how that.
But also, I want to say Alicia Clark, for people who don't know, was the best scorer in the world in college for 2 years. Like, at Middle Tennessee State, she was incredible. So, like, Ox, who do you think, if you could say, like, in your objective opinion, as the one who watches college women's basketball more than anybody, probably up here. Penn probably is. He's obviously up there too.
He watches more than I do. I can tell you that.
Right?
No
yeah. I don't know.
Do you think who are the top 5 women college basketball players to you?
Right now,
segment it out.
Start with Hannah.
Just all time. Just no. You're talking about all time.
All time.
Well,
do all time and then do this year for you.
I think all time. I have no problem with Brianna Stewart being number 1. I'm not sure if I would have. I'm not mad at Stewie, Maya, Shamika Holtzclaw for sure. Maya, Stewie,
Cheryl
Shamika,
Miller.
Diana, and she got to have Cheryl Miller. You have to have Cheryl Miller on there.
Yeah,
so Diana, no. So with that being said, damn, Atlanta Della Don. No, I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna stick with that. Yeah, I'm Stewie's number 1 for me.
Stewie, remember, Penn, Stewie went. What was her record, dog? Because did they lose like 3 games?
Her team was stacked
4 years in a row. She went to the national championship.
It was a stacked game. It was a stacked team, but she was balling though. She was doing her thing. I'm having trouble not having Atlanta Della Don in there, but there's so many good players like Shamika Holtzclaw got to be in there. I like Candace Parker.
Shamika was not bad.
But the thing about Diana Taurasi,
I got Cheryl Miller in there too. So you got
you said Stewie, Maya,
Maya or Diana. Let me go. Stewie, Cheryl, Shamika, Diana. In that 5th spot, bro. I don't know. I love Maya, but that 5th spot could be anybody. I can't say, bro.
So
I can't say.
I got a question for you, Ox. With Shamika being as good as she was she the consensus best player in the country?
In 99?
When was she hands down? Was she the best player in the country? And it wasn't a question.
Who is all?
I think so. Yeah.
Who's in 99? Though?
So like when I think about all those other people, like Stewie was the best player in the country, and it wasn't a question. Cheryl Miller was the best player in the country, and it wasn't a question. Maya Moore was the best player in the country, and it wasn't a question. Like if you got to think about
who was better than Shamika. I mean, Swoops was gone.
Yeah, let me look it up.
When did Rebecca Lobo leave?
She was gone in 95.
She was gone before
95,
that.
right? 95, Rebecca was gone. Cheryl Swoops was gone.
So you had Yolanda Griffith was in that draft class, bro.
Fuck, Yolanda was
nasty. Yeah, Yolanda Griffith was crazy.
But now
I gotta step in and say this though. In respect to all the GOATs, Caitlin Clark's name not coming up at all is disgusting. Respect to all the GOATs.
Who is she better than those people?
Who's taking out Ron?
Honestly, this is my thing though. Caitlin Clark, all Elena, Caitlin, or anybody else mentioned on this list that didn't go to UConn during the last 20, 30 years would have went to UConn and won 4 championships too. So I'm not giving Brianna Stewart all type of praise for getting 4 rings. Now she was killing. She was going crazy.
Was Caitlin Clark better than Elena Della Don? In college, was Caitlin Clark better than Elena Della Don?
Yeah, she was.
Yes,
bro. Yeah, she was.
I'm leaving the NCAA as the leading scorer of all time, as the leading assist getter of all time.
Yeah,
the only person to lead the nation in assists.
Juju coming for that record, by the way.
Not for assist, maybe scoring, not for assist.
Definitely,
she's not gonna sniff it for assist. And I'm saying, like, I'm the best scorer and distributor, maybe of all time in college, of all time. You list up all the best scorers of all time. Caitlin Clark's in there.
Okay,
you list
Ron.
all the passes.
Okay, Ron. Hang on.
I
know you love to cap. I know you love to take the other side of it.
Let me ask you.
Hold on. You got one Final Four run, and you're starting right at the bottom of the bracket, and you could draft one player to your team, women's college hoops, Candace Parker or Caitlin Clark?
I'm
You taking
going
Caitlin Clark?
Candace. No, I'm going. Candace.
I'm gonna throw up.
I'm going. Candace.
Come on, bro.
I'm going.
Thank you.
Candace.
Okay, cool. Okay,
Candace had a different level of carryability though.
And also to your point, Ox, all of those women that you just talked about, they all won. All of them did. Like that matters. That
hold on.
Except for Elena didn't.
Elena didn't
Oh,
win.
here's also the thing.
Neither did Alicia.
I see.
Neither did Odyssey Sims, by the way. She was the best scorer when she retired, by the way, too. So like there are like, I think for me is Ron. I think Candace gets hated on. Caitlin gets hated on like for nonsense, like nothing to do with her. She's incredible. I think she is an argument for top 5.
Definitely.
But the issue is, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you though. I remember watching Diana Taurasi too, though, Ox. She winning aside, like that's what I'm saying. Winning aside, player for player, Diana was crazy.
She was the best player in the country, and it wasn't.
She was also the first woman playmaker that I saw that was like, damn, dude, she's better than dudes like in the league, like 100%. Like Diana was a passer, dog, and she was an elite scorer. She could do whatever she wanted. But then too, bro, Maya's not gonna have like all the stuff. Maya's the best basketball player that's a woman I have ever seen. Just
even better than Candace.
Even better than Candace. Even better than Candace.
So chill. I'm curious. I'm curious about that. Where do you have Diana Taurasi with Caitlin Clark as far as college? Does Diana Taurasi hold down that 5, 6, 7 spot and ahead of Caitlin? I mean, it's so many good players. But trying to do a top 5 all time women. This is a crazy ass.
College is crazy.
This is a crazy ass.
Like you can.
Who's your
like,
top
when you get
5
to
right now?
professionals, you can narrow it down. But the thing about it is,
if I'm keeping the same,
but hold on, but Ron, they had Asia Wilson on this list, and I'm like,
Asia Wilson number 9, I think.
But I'm saying, but even Asia though, like I'm not putting her over Cheryl. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I just if we're doing that, even Elena Deladon, like I mean, I think Asia and Elena can have conversations. Like Elena was crazy.
I think I got Elena over Asia in college for sure.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like there's some players like
and Asia got a statue, bro. So.
And if we're being 100% honest, Pin, we're just talking about dominant. Yeah. Was somebody touch Brittany Griner? Like if
Brittany was tough.
Was Brittany better than Sylvia Fowles?
Yes, Sylvia was great too. No, Simona Gustis. Matter of fact, that's another one. You want to bring up LSU? If you bring it up LSU,
wait, be careful. Remember last time I brought up Simona Gustis.
I'm a Sylvia Fowles fan.
I think Simona Gustis at her apex would argue better than Asia Wilson too. But I'll give you Asia, but Simone was crazy. Simone was crazy.
Simone was nasty. But Pin, real quick, just let me run it down real quick. I think I got obviously Madison Booker, Hannah. Oh man, what's her name? Lauren Betts. Who I'll say? So Madison, Hannah, Lauren, Paige, and just from this year, I'll probably wrap it up with
Juju. Don't make that.
Oh shit. My bad. So yeah. So everything I said and just put Juju number 2 right behind Madison. Yeah.
Hold on. Say that one more time.
So Madison, Juju, Hannah, Lauren,
Paige.
Lauren Betts.
Lauren Betts, yeah.
Okay.
Paige.
Yeah, y'all. And this isn't like if I'm drafting, I'm taking Juju. But just based on what I've seen this year on both sides of the ball, based on what she's done with a team that wasn't supposed to be this good. They were good last year, but they weren't supposed to be this good. Hannah's number 1 for me. She has consistently applied pressure all year. She's consistently got buckets all year. She picking up full court. Hannah's she's just different. I'm telling you, she's just different. Now, as pro prospects, you have to draft Juju number 1. But as of right now, what I'm seeing in college, I gotta go with Hannah. Hannah's number 1.
There is a 5'8".
We gotta show some love to Sanaya Rivers. Though. We gotta show some love to Sanaya Rivers, though.
There is a 5'8" point guard playing for the Florida State Seminoles.
She tough, man.
She's amazing. They call her Allen Iverson on campus. She's amazing.
She leads the league in scoring, or led the nation in scoring, right?
25 points, 25 points per game right now. 25 points per game on 45% shooting.
Dog.
That is absolutely nuts. She's a certified bucket. And she is the only reason that I think Florida State even has a chance against LSU today. Because Flage is a beast.
Ooh, Flage.
Flage is amazing.
Shout out Flage too.
Love Flage. I had y'all know I had her number 1 coming into it, but I'm a big.
I only watched LSU for that reason right there.
No, I never had Paige.
You didn't have Paige in your top 5? No, in your top 5.
Oh, I did. I did put her top 5 right now. Yeah, I did. But I've never.
I can't even tell you the last year I watched more women's college hoops or men's college hoops than I have women's. I can't tell you the year. It might not have been since the Harrison twins were in.
I don't think I ever had.
Bro, I have watched 16 to 17 hours of basketball for the last 3 days in a row. My brain hurts so hard.
My son was mad last night because I wouldn't put on the Celtics. What was it? Celtics Suns? Who was it?
Bro, after an entire day of March
Madness, he want to watch Jason Tatum.
After an entire day of March Madness, I got to close my night out by watching SGA versus the LA Clippers last night.
Oh my gosh!
Unbelievable, man! Unbelievable that Shea could shoot that poorly. Yes, that was my nightcap. That was like past midnight.
That was
on the East Coast.
Yes.
That was almost 1 a.m. And I'm watching SGA have one of the worst shooting games of his season. No Jalen Williams, no Chet Holmgren, and somehow this team still pulled it out.
Caruso and Ihart and Casey Wallace, yes, 100%.
So, and by the way,
is SGA really MVP then?
And for the record, Penn, he didn't have a bad night because he just wasn't scoring. The Clippers defense contributed to that tremendously.
Yeah, Chris Dunn, Kawhi, and Derrick Jones Jr. Yeah,
they did. They contributed to that tremendously.
But I will say, do you see the holes in Kawhi's game offensively on that final shot that he took?
Well, that was a late blitz though. Like that was
he turned his back to the defense.
Yeah.
Swiper, that's a mistake on his part.
That was great by Kaysen. For me, that's more credit on Kaysen. 3 seconds left in the shot clock.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. It's just
I don't understand it. I really don't understand how OKC.
Y'all gonna have to accept that Kawhi is back and there's nothing you could do about it. Lou Dort felt it.
I think y'all gonna have to accept OKC, the deepest team in the league.
I ran this poll and it ran for like 30 minutes. And who's the best one-on-one player in PC? Y'all gonna pay for this shit. Dale 29%, Ox 28%, Trey 22%, me 19%. All y'all gonna pay for it, including you, Swiper, because you brought this shit up.
Wait, they chose Dale over me?
Yep.
They chose you over me. Hey, at first I was being cool. I was letting Swiper get that off. I was letting you talk your big talk. Y'all gonna pay for this shit.
I'm with that. I feel you. I really want those. Yeah.
It became personal.
It's very personal.
Hey,
I'm genuinely upset right now, though.
That's what I'm saying, Ox. I just want to get to the bottom of it really quickly, Ox. Yes or no? Does Ron want to smoke? Yes or no?
Does he want it?
Does he want to smoke with you?
He do. He does.
Can he handle the smoke with you?
Ron like that. Yeah, Ron like that. But
I ain't arguing that. Can he handle the smoke with you?
No. Okay. But he like that though.
He tell the truth, nigga.
I'm telling the truth.
I think just tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. You tell the truth.
One-on-one, I'm just too fast for you. That's all it is. And now 5-on-5, we can talk different. One-on-one is a layup line.
It's just check up.
No, but what's it for me though? But what's it for me though?
You gonna get a couple, but it's just like
can you guard me better? Can you guard me better
on the perimeter? Yes, but that's why I said 5-on-5 is different because you could get to your spots and things like that. But one-on-one is just like. Hey, you just
but you can guard me better than I can guard you. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
All right, cool. All right, that's cool. All right, that's
cool. So when we see each other again, I got the pill. Okay, I got the pill. Ron, check up. That's all I gotta say. Anyway,
I just need you to prove it. That's all.
All right, Ox. The only thing that'll save you is hacking. And if you go to Hacker Ron, that's the only thing that can save you.
Snowbird, I don't got to drop step from nowhere. I can do anything I want on the court, anywhere I want to. Anytime I want to, and that's just the fact. That's just the fact.
It's not this. It's back here. That shit is cash too.
But yeah, y'all gonna pay for that poll. But either way it goes, though. Jason Grills sent through a $50 super chat and said, "Do you guys think we are at the point in the NBA where defensive personnel matters a lot less than scheme? Like, for example, the Lakers and the Clippers have 2 to 3 bad defenders on the court and are still good."
Who's the Clippers bad defenders?
Yeah, I'm curious.
It's been a while since we heard from you, Mars.
Relative to everybody else.
I think it's been that way for a while. But I think the extent of it is something I probably underestimated a bit. But I do think team defense schemes, game planning has been more important than personnel for a while, but I didn't know to the extent of which it was. So even I'm catching myself by surprise watching teams with, I guess, what's deemed as bad personnel be really good defensively. And either that's because of the scheme or because I'm underrating the personnel defensively. I think it's probably a mixture of both. But I think bad defenders can look competent within a good scheme. And I think that's a sign of good coaching and game plan.
So I was just about to say that, Mars. Forget I even, because I was about to ask you that, because I was thinking, wouldn't that attribute to great coaching? If you got players who aren't very good, but you put them in position to be successful, I feel like that's 100% coaching.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I think the coaching staffs get credit for that. Well, they should. I don't know if they do, but they should.
Yes.
Making guys like Luka and Austin Reeves and old man LeBron compete, be engaged, and execute within a scheme defensively to where you can have a really, really good defense. I mean, they just gave up 152 balls, but you can have a consistently good defense with that personnel. That's a testament to the coaching and the players buying into it. These guys aren't elite defenders, but they can be cogs of a good defensive team. And I think that's the best you can really hope for when you're as limited defensively as those guys have been and are. So yeah, I think
and I also think it's attributed to these guys buying in. Just because you got a bunch of athletes does not necessarily mean it's going to translate to great defense. These guys have to buy into your system, and you have to put them in space where they can be the most successful. I think Oklahoma City is a prime example of that, especially when he goes to that small lineup with with SGA, Wiggins, Wallace, Dort, and J-Dub, and how those guys fly around and are able to shoot gaps in their rotations. They just seem to be on the same page. That's 100% coaching.
Yeah, but OKC's a rare team. They have like no bad defenders in their rotation. If your worst defenders are like Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, you're in a pretty good spot.
You're definitely so, if you're a team that's hunting SGA, 100%. You got a pretty good team.
Who the hell is hunting SGA?
I mean, the Clippers did it last night. The Clippers did it last night, but then they started
doing it. And then Thunder would not let them do it.
And remember, Penn, it's not because he's a bad defender. It's because, who are we going to go after? Are we going to go after Caruso? Are we going to go after Lou Dort? Who are we going to go after?
Well, no, he was the best option for Kawhi, and Kawhi was
right. Who are we going to go after?
That's number one. That's matchup dependent. Number two, I would assume that Ty Lue is probably thinking, let me go hunt their best offensive players, so he's a little bit gassed on offense.
That's probably a part of it too. He's also their weakest on-ball defender, so that's the other part. But yeah,
he just doesn't have the strength to guard a Kawhi. That's it. That's what it is.
Not many guys do, to be honest with you, Penn.
Caruso was doing a hell of a job on Kawhi, but that's what Caruso does. Best guard defender.
You're gonna need a truly special scorer like on the perimeter to deal with them in the playoff. There will be a couple that they'll see that will be able to do it, but
Caruso made some huge plays down the stretch. He hit that three from the corner, and then he had the steal.
Got fouled and got to the line.
It's great.
My thing with OKC is I don't think nobody should be trying to beat them individually. And this is the thing like with the NBA that kind of like just kills me a little bit today. It is so much mismatch hunting, and it's so much we're trying to get this one-on-one matchup so we can take advantage of this person, which is cool. Like, obviously, you want to get a small on a big or get a big on a small and take advantage of them. My thing is, what's wrong with just running offense like the Golden State Warriors? What's wrong with just setting screens, moving without the ball, moving the ball, and getting it within the flow of the offense?
Well, instead of always first good shot type stuff, Ron?
I think you should attack. I don't think you should be trying to pick on SGA or trying to get this person off.
Well, SGA does that to everyone, though.
No, but I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about, Ron.
But playing good basketball and running offense.
So for the Clippers, for example, that's who James Harden is. So that's the way that their offense is ran. Their offense is ran with him having the ball in his hands. A lot of pick and roll action. A lot of him coming off screens and things like that. That's the way they run things. The Golden State Warriors, to your point, they run offense, but there's a lot of teams that don't stick with that offense late in games. That's what happened. That's why a lot of teams end up pulling away late, because when you run, there's no reason why we shouldn't continue to run our sets. This worked in the third quarter. This worked in the second quarter. This worked in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Now, I know that I've said in the past that I can only X and O you for a certain amount of time. Okay, that's a fact. However, if my offense is working throughout the course of the game, there's no reason why when this team is worn down, because it's not like teams get extra energy in the fourth quarter. There's no reason why my offense shouldn't continue to work. No reason whatsoever. So I think a large part of that, Ron, is teams go away from what they're running late in games because of their stars instead of just continuing to run what they run. Because a lot of teams do run offense.
But hold on. I guess what I'm confused by, teams mismatch hunt in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter based on who's they're playing against. And I think like even like James was going at Lou Dort in ISO yesterday. But and he was successful on a couple of those possessions as well, especially late with those free throws. But James was missing shots though. That's James Harden at 35 years old. That's what he does. He just doesn't hit shots as well as he should. But like I think every team mismatch hunts to a degree because there's ways you can like scheme those mismatches to like open up more opportunities. Like players, like teams, for instance, will intentionally bring Aaron Gordon up in pick and roll, not to attack him, but to make Porter or Murray the low man on a trap coverage because they're worse at it than Aaron Gordon is. So like
get around.
Yeah, so some of that is just like, well, we're doing this to take because we have a place we want to go to. It's harder for us to get there if these two players are there or if that player is there. And so we're going to take him away from this. So I mean, it just depends. Like Murray was hunting Fred Van Vleet and Jalen Green yesterday, and Tari Eason instead of Amin Thompson yesterday because it just makes more sense. SGA will hunt like your smallest guard on the court just because you probably can't stay in front of me, and if you can, then I can probably bait a foul here, or you're going to be off so far I'm going to hit a open jumper in these situations. So Jordan did it. Like it's just like I feel like that's just basketball. Like if it's the easiest opportunity, then
it's one of the few times that I've seen not few. I take that back. I can't remember seeing SGA this season get sped up like he got sped up last night. He was playing a lot faster than he would normally play. I felt like he was reaching more for shots that he wouldn't normally reach. SGA, one of his mantras this season in particular, has been him being able to play with a specific pace. You can't speed him up. You can't slow him down. You can't force him into bad shots. He's going to play in a certain area, and you're not going to be able to take him out of that. I feel like the Clippers did a really good job in taking him out of that. I feel like they did a really good job in making him play faster than he wanted to yesterday. I think that's a large reason why he wasn't able to get to the shots that he wanted to get to. I feel like that's another reason why he wasn't able to score like he normally does.
But they also just have like a bunch
Chris Dunn.
Yes. Again, I keep telling the way you defend guards like that is getting in their space. And Chris Dunn, better than most people because he's probably this year, like I said, the best POA guard in the league. And I'll say this again. He gets in people's spaces and doesn't foul. That is a very difficult thing to do. He's long as crap. Him and SJ are basically the same size.
Is he a better POA guard than Dyson Daniels? Dyson Daniels is a POA guard.
Yeah, I know, but Dyson specializes in a lot of off-ball stuff too. Like because he's good with his hand. Now he gets on ball, but the thing is he gambles more than Chris Dunn does. Chris Dunn doesn't gamble. He's not like a steel merchant. And
he gambles, but not to the same.
I
don't want you to keep going, Swipe Up, because I don't want you to get. I don't want you to let the steals deter you from how good Dyson Daniels is as an on-ball.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like defensive playmaking is a real thing. It's not a slight to Daniel. It's just that Chris Dunn doesn't have the same ability to do that, so he has to be more technically sound.
Oh, he's
like
smarter.
KCP. No, I don't. I think
you're not Fred Van Vleet level smart though.
Yeah, I think you can be a gambler and still be smart. You just gamblers lose at times. Like Jordan was a gambler. So just
multiple ways.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Yep.
MP13 said you can argue that Fred's limitations subtracts from the list of defensive mental attributes he's required to know. So the list of intellectual defensive planes he has in-depth insight to a smaller pool naturally.
That's kind of the point I made when Penn asked about swapping his brain with Kevin Garnett. He's just not going to have the rim protecting instincts in theory that Kevin Garnett does because his brain isn't wired to have that. It's just not his role. Whereas Kevin Garnett was asked to do everything defensively. So he's well-versed in everything, whether that be point of attack, screen navigation, communicating within the zone, being the low man, being the middle of the zone, everything defensively Kevin Garnett was asked to do. So I think that's why him and Draymond are so high for me in terms of defensive masterminds. Bill Russell, obviously, just the outlier, but those two.
Sure.
He averages more blocks on his career than Marcus Smart with an 8-inch wingspan deficit. Think about that 10 times a day.
I mean, they count swipe downs as blocks. So, I mean, I guess, but
it counts.
Yeah, but
it's still a block.
They're not.
I'm blocking from where I can block, bro. I can't go up. I gotta go down.
But on top of that, see how you use numbers like that. When you say 8-inch wingspan, that makes people think that he has like 8 inches off of that. You know what I'm saying from him, but it's not really 8 inches because that's
okay. So if
like 3 inches, you know what I'm saying. So
there's a reason why
you're throwing numbers out there trying to be.
There's a good reason that you're a better shot blocker than I am, right? Because when I reach my arms up,
Well, why don't you just swipe down and get blocks?
All I'm saying is there's certain things that help you block shots, and Fred Van Vleet has none of those advantages, and he still gets blocks. So I'm just
so did Dwayne Wade, and he wasn't 6'10", and he blocked shots.
Dwayne Wade had a 6'11" wingspan and was an extreme vertical athlete and was 6'4". So yeah, he has some advantages. He doesn't have gaudy advantages, but Michael Jordan could block shots, Kobe Bryant could block shots because they had certain advantages that help you block shots. Long arms, big hands help you block shots.
8 Gates Lee, somebody's lawn man.
No, the landscapers. They did.
All right, I'm gonna just mute you.
They're escaping the land right now.
8 Gates Lee sit through a members chat and said, "Number 11 for Harden. Melo, come open the door, nigga."
Yeah,
all-time
he is.
scorer?
Yeah,
Or was that threes?
He just
All-time scorer?
Threes. He's number 2 in threes. Yeah, he's now. I think he just passed. Who did he just pass? James Harden just passed someone. Was it Moses? I think he just passed
Moses Malone for number 11 all time.
Yeah,
yes.
So he's like 800 short of Melo. So he gonna get to Melo. He gonna retire in the top 10. He gonna catch Shaq as well. I think. So.
There's a few cities that got two teams in the same sport, but just LA and New York.
Thank you for the joke, Phyllis.
My bad. I was talking to my son. He was talking about the Nets playing the Yankees. I thought I was on mute.
I appreciate the joke.
I was trying to figure out what that James Harden, but shout out to James.
My bad. I thought I was on mute. Well, wait, is there any other cities that got multiple in like different sports besides basketball and football? And baseball?
I know New York got a couple.
Just New York and LA. Right?
New York got 2 basketball teams. The Lakers, Los Angeles got 2 basketball teams.
They got 2 baseball, 2 football, 2 basketball.
Florida has Orlando and Miami.
Yes, they do.
Texas.
That's the state though.
He's talking about cities. No, New York and Los Angeles.
Oh, Chicago. That's right. Yeah, Chicago got 2 baseball teams. That's right.
Come on, fool. You know that?
Yeah, fact. Chicago. Yeah, fact.
They actually got. So yeah, they do. That's correct.
Technically, San Francisco has 2 basketball teams.
Oh, we good on that.
The Kings are 45 minutes away. Technically, that's
no.
It's not even 45. It's like an hour and 15 minutes. But
Grandpa Town and Penn Vleet sent through a members chat and said, "I am back. Swipe a glazing Joker like that's is that Trump's daughter?
Trump's wife, yeah."
Oh,
that's not Trump.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
What's his wife's name?
I think that's his daughter.
Chill, just don't look it up.
His daughter is
let's
Tina Trump.
keep that out the server. Keep that out.
That's what the chat said. Tina Trump.
Ivanka is his wife. That's correct. My fault.
Tiana.
No, that's not his wife. That's Ivanka's daughter.
Not related.
No, the chat said Tina Trump.
I do not know.
Oh, Melania.
Melania's his wife.
Melania. That's right.
Melania's his wife.
But Tiana is no relation. They might have had relations. I don't know, but they're of no relation.
He did say if she wasn't my daughter. He did say that if she wasn't my daughter.
He said that about Ivanka Trump.
He did say that.
But he said that about his real daughter though. But
I wish he said that about Tiana Trump.
She said if she wasn't my daughter. Yeah, he did say that.
All right, 9-7 till infinity sent through a members chat and said, "Start bench cut, defensive IQ." Dennis Rodman, Draymond Green, Fred Van Vleet.
Didn't he say that when she was like 15 or 13 years old?
She was a grown woman. Either way, it's weird. It's weird, but she was grown. But let's answer the super chat. Let's answer the super chat. Let's not make it triple weird.
Yeah, I guess. Okay.
Exactly the way it is. That's how I would put it.
Weirdos, 100%.
Draymond. I'll start Draymond. I'll bench Dennis Rodman, and I'll cut Fred Van Vleet.
Is there anybody out here that's not cutting Fred?
I might start Fred Van Vleet because he's 5'9". He's not fast.
Troll alert.
He can't jump as high as Dennis Rodman. So Gotta be the IQ that made him a Hall of Fame defender.
Hey man, shout out to Andrea Carter, by the way, man. I've known Andrea Carter for 10 years. I've known Andrea Carter since she was at Tennessee. She has leaped up of the board, man. She is like crazy good at what
you watching an Affleck commercial?
Yeah, I'm watching the same game as you are. I just saw her. I'm like, bro, that's a big come up from where she was. But shout out, man. Like, man, she's one of the best on the mic. Period.
I saw when I went to the finals game against what was it, the Suns versus the the Lynx versus the Liberty. Her and Shanae were there. They're putting in work, man. Shout out to them.
When the Lynx got cheated. But either way it goes, Adam West sent through a members chat and said Muggsy Bogues with a lot of great than signs, and then Fred Van Vleet.
Earl Boykins over Fred Van Vleet for doing this.
Muggsy was awesome, but that's
Earl Boykins was the smarter player.
Let me just put it this way, Adam West. I've read a lot of your comments. It checks out. It checks out that you.
So wait, why
them physical limitations?
Why is Earl Robinson? Why is Earl the Pearl from Michigan? Why is he not a smarter player than Fred Van Vleet?
I didn't say he wasn't a smarter player than Fred Van Vleet.
I got you.
Grandpa Town became a YouTube member. Shout out to Grandpa Town.
Shout out.
King Bo also became a YouTube member. Yo, Alex, this your man Chris. Hey, shout out my man King Bo. Masinko said Michael Porter Jr. is more valuable than SGA.
Yep.
If you know,
2021.
Then you know. Dub panel, shout out Chris Duhan and Fred Jones. The Fred Jones that was Fred Jones that was fucking ox. And Fred Jones.
Don't say those shit like that on YouTube because motherfuckers don't really believe that.
Man, that was a good summer. That was a good summer.
That was a great summer.
Fred Jones, I went up against him. Yeah.
Yeah, Fred was dope. Fred was dope for real.
Tyrone Winston also became a YouTube member. Shout out to Tyrone. Appreciate you for re-upping. And then SMN R&DM sent through 20 of his currency. And he said, Scam Ron, during Playback stream, I'm spending my money to support the stream. Least you can do is read. I know y'all don't care, but probably my last super chat. In the words of my illustrious pirate, I'm disgruntled with PC. Peace. It was fun.
You don't read super chats and
he ended
Playback?
The stream because Brax was exposing him for making him late to the PCO. I was very disappointed. I had to file a complaint. HR did not read my complaint.
Do you think there's a way we can read super chats in a better and more streamlined fashion to maybe get everybody super chats in?
Super
chat. Oh, there's
definitely
a way. Yeah, there's definitely a way.
Super chat from Jake Fascione. Hey, Chill. Did you watch the UConn versus Florida game? And can you give me your thoughts about the last 3 minutes that caused them to lose the game?
They had the best player in the game, Clayton Jr. He turned it on. They didn't block out 3 times in a row on free throws, and Florida got the ball back with a 1-possession game. That's not coaching. That's effort. Block out. And they had 2 back-to-back slips to the rim where nobody was guarding the rim. And I just feel like the best player on the floor just outlasted the rest of these guys in the last 3 minutes of the game. UConn ran out of gas. That's what it was.
I can't believe I missed the end of that. I was watching it, but I turned it. I was watching the Duke versus Oregon, the women's game, Duke versus Oregon, and I forgot to turn it back. And I went back and I seen that Florida won. I couldn't believe that. And so when I seen like all the highlights, I was damn. That kid was really shooting.
UConn was as good, if not better, for 37 of the 40 minutes. And they ran out of gas.
There's some NBA prospects on UConn: Liam McNeely, freshman, and Alex Caravan, 2-time champion. Do you think that they hurt their stock with this game?
I know who did, and that's the lead guard for UConn. That's the guy.
Solo Ball.
Yes, that's the guy. That's the guy that I'm thinking about the most.
He just had a cold shooting night. Yeah.
So what's the last time you seen a coach do this?
So
walking out of the tunnel.
Yes.
So I don't know.
Yo, that dude is so hated. Hated.
That was so interesting to me. Coach,
tell them the next team, don't let them do to us what they did to you. Oh my God.
Sometimes Coach Charlie he gets a little riled up.
He's a competitor though. I like that.
Yeah.
But he was doing the ring talk to the fans, like, you know what I mean? I just
the fans was probably talking shit to him. What you think? The fans are worse than the players.
Coach Danny Hurley is Coach Hurley is very Jersey City. He is he's very Northeast, and he wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's a damn good coach, and it gets overshadowed by the nonsense that you see.
I don't think it gets overshadowed, too.
It does, and the reason why it does is because this is what they talk about. Just so you know, Florida, for all intents and purposes, is considered the best team in the tournament. It was in a dogfight with them, and I lost 3 of my starters from no Klingon, no Castle. All of them dudes are gone, and I'm in a dogfight with the best team in the tournament, arguably. And we had them. We just ran out of gas. But we're talking about him saying that they got jobbed instead of the game that he coached. That's what we're talking about.
He's a great coach. I just feel like when you go ahead.
My bad, Penn. Real quick. I know this isn't on topic. I usually don't do this, right? But to the guy in the chat that's saying that I'm only up here for certain reasons, I just want to make it clear that you're only up here clearly because you have some type of daddy issues or something. You be up here for 3 hours. You be up here for 3 hours trying to get attention from Chill. It's because look, if you didn't get enough fatherly love when you was coming up, I'm sorry for you, brother. But you up here because you got daddy issues. Shit is weird, dog. Go get a mentor or something. You know, join the Big Brother club or something. You know what I'm saying? Get you a pin pad.
I know a Big Brother club to join personally.
You know what I'm saying? Go find somebody to mentor you, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hoop Talk Podcast. They got a little mentorship program over there. Drink More Water said, do you guys see Eric Spoelstra coaching in Miami in the long run? He signed an 8-year extension last year, and I don't know if Miami will be competitive enough for Spo in the upcoming years. Which team could use Spo?
They just broke their losing streak, which is great.
And on top of this, I don't want people to know this. This is why relationships are everything. Do you realize Coach Eric Spoelstra got divorced last year? Everybody knows this. Yes, but do you know what they did for Coach Spo because how much they love Coach Spo? They let the divorce finalize, and so that way she could get her what she's owed from the first marriage. And then they signed him to the most lucrative contract you could ever sign him to as soon as the ink dried on the divorce papers.
You ain't seeing none of this though. None of it.
The money. So
they ain't seeing none of this bread.
Like, you don't do that unless you plan on somebody being around until they get gray. Eric's going to be there as long as he lives in Miami. He's wealthy. They're going to have a good team in probably 3 years. 4 years, another good team. They'll have another star go there at some point in time, and they're going to be right back. And then he's going to be back in the best. And he's already a top 15 coach ever of all time. And he's young. How old is Eric Spoelstra? Is he your age?
Yes, he around my age. I think he's 2 years older than me, 2 or 3 years older.
Well, he got 15, 18 years left if he want. Yeah, bro. He ain't going
I think Miami's going to have a hard time recruiting another star in part because of the track record with D Wade, then Jimmy Butler. Plus, they tossed Kyle Lowry away, to the Charlotte Hornets, and he was not happy. You've had 3 of your highest paid players in recent memory exit on poor terms. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's going to be a Pat Riley problem more than an Eric Spoelstra problem. I do believe players love playing for Spo, and I think they have enough right now. If you look at what they have some young pieces that really work. I think Khalil Ware is going to pop for them. I was very low on him coming into the draft last year. He has really, really proven me wrong. He looks like he's going to be a player in the league. Like, he looks like he'd be a starting center in the league. He can shoot the basketball a little bit, protect the rim. Then you got Bam. Hopefully he have a turnaround next year. You got Tyler Hero, made an all-star team this year. So you remove the tanking context. They're probably going to get a top 10 pick this year as well. And odds are they're probably going to hit on that pick. It's a very deep draft. So, yeah, I mean, they could be good within a year. They really could.
I'm thinking 2 years tops, man. I'm thinking 2 years tops.
And let's hope that Jaime Jaquez and some of these guys have a turnaround next year. They got Nikola Jovic. He's a very good young player as well. So they got some pieces. They Davion balling out for them. So, they could do some stuff. But in terms of attracting like star level talents, like in terms of like being a destination for free agents, I mean, the taxes are always going to be their advantage, but I don't know if heat culture is doing what it
I'll tell you this way. They're not going to get people, if you try to go down there and you try to order some queso late night for one of these Mexican spots, they're going to tell you they don't have queso. That's what's so annoying about Miami. What you mean you don't got queso available? You got tacos, burritos, all this other stuff. You ain't got queso?
No, I got no quesos.
We're a tapas place. Y'all can't put cheese in a bowl? All right, cool.
Yeah,
bet.
It might be for you, but I don't think that's the case for somebody. If I play for the Miami Heat and I called up at 11 o'clock at night, like, yo, can I get some queso? I think that they might make an exception.
No, these Spanish spots don't have queso like chips and stuff. They don't.
You just not.
You would never have that problem in California.
I know. I was
if you were an NBA player, you don't have that problem.
No, I went out to Miami. I'm telling you, I've been all over. I was so disappointed in the food in Miami. I was so disappointed. I just thought it'd be way better. The Cuban food was good.
Did the women make up for it though?
I mean,
it kind of did, right? So
he was with.
You want women?
I was with a group.
He was with his one. So
members chat from SGA Sports Talk channel. SGA said, "Hi, Player's Choice. I love your YouTube channel."
Nice.
Shout out.
Hi, SGA. Thank you for your super chat.
Absolutely.
What all teams did he have in that? San Fran teams?
Yeah. Sincerely Kentrail became a YouTube member, and then also the Goat Cheese gifted 10 Player's Choice memberships. And if you are one of the 10 people that got a Player's Choice membership, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe, and when your membership runs out from the one that Cheese got you, make sure you re-up that membership. And if you have any questions as to what membership tier you should join, be a Hall of Famer, just like your daddy Cheese. Kent Lipscomb Jr. said, "Hey, Swiper, big ups to Colorado State. Rocky Mountain Rams in the building. Hashtag Castle Rookie of the Year."
Yeah, I got no real love for Colorado State. So, but you know, I obviously from Colorado. I support them in their desire to win. But you know, shout out to Colorado State. They look good. I thought they were going to go further in the tournament, but they fell apart.
Pimp named Slickback said, Ron, breaking news. Anthony Davis is back tonight for the Mavericks. Well, he's actually questionable, so we don't know if he is back, but
they moved him up to questionable instead of doubtful.
So maybe we get to see AD return tonight.
They respect AD. Like he wants to play basketball. Like
he's the one who wants to play, by the way. It's not like they're pushing him to play. They want to shut him down. He's the one that's like,
W integrity. Like, I'm not, if I can play, I'm going to play basketball. That's what's up. Yeah. Love that for AD.
Oh, by the way, y'all, I got this at a Mexican like super spot yesterday. They make these by hand. They're actually like
show that again. Show yourself.
It's a poncho. It's a Dragon Ball Z poncho that was it was hand woven, and the company that made it, Ponchos Aristales, and so it's literally all handmade stuff. They got a bunch of stuff over there that they had. It keeps you cool in the hot, and then it keeps you warm in the cold as well. There's a particular material that they use. Yeah, it's Peruvian, Mexico, like big on making these kind of things. They're for outdoor wear in any weather. So yeah, shout out.
Bob sent through a super chat and said, "We scale down offensive production in the modern game. Why do we never have talks on how good defensively some modern defenders would be in the 90s?"
We don't scale down offensive production in today's game. In fact, that's all we talk about is offensive production in today's game. How much better guys are in today's game. How much more skilled guys are in today's game. How much better jump shooters guys are in today's game. How much better guys are as athletes. So no, we do not scale down guys offensively in today's game. No, we do not.
All right, I got another super chat from Fint Jones. He said, "When and where did y'all play in Europe? I want to watch tape."
I played in Ireland, I played in Greece, and I played in Belgium.
Do y'all have tape from that stuff, Ron, Ox?
I got a little tape. I didn't play in Europe though. I played in Australia. I got tape I got a little tape from over there. I got some tape from over here. I got a little tape.
Yeah, I don't have much overseas tape. I played in Germany. But maybe I could dig some up, but I don't have too much. I got college tape though.
You got on your Nokia. You can pull it up on the Nokia phone. I got college tape from football, but y'all will never see that. You're never gonna find out.
Why?
Well, I don't want being in my business, bro. There's too many people know stuff about me already. I'm very people not normal, bro. Like on online, I try to tell y'all that, bro. Like people are not normal. Y'all really know me. Normal. That's it. But nobody else gonna know me for real. Shout out though.
MP13 said, "Chill. I have a ref question. When the ball is in the restricted area, what ref holds the responsibility for that area on the court?
It depends on where the ball is coming from. So if I'm in the C, which is with the referee at the free throw line, if that's where the action starts and he goes down the gut and he's in the restricted area, I got that call all the way to the rim. If the ball is in the corner, the lead official, that's the guy that comes over from the other side. He's the guy standing on the baseline. That's the action in front of me. If he goes to the bucket and he's in the who's ever in the restricted area, that's my action. So that it just depends on where the ball is.
All right. Triclop said, chill. I've seen you praise Aaron Wiggins more than any other role player on OKC. What does Aaron Wiggins show you that's special? Also, Mars, why Caruso over Dort?
So 2 things. I love the fact that Aaron Wiggins, I think that Oklahoma City system is perfect for him. And he plays within himself in that system. They ask him to defend. They ask him to be a D&3 guy. And that's exactly who he is. And I think that he's the best at that and what they're asking him to do. He doesn't do anything that he doesn't know how to do. And I think that they enhance everything that he knows how to do. So I feel like that's what makes him so special in that system.
Triclop said,
hold on, Ron. Mars, Caruso over Lu Dort. Why is that?
Caruso over Lu Dort at what?
Defense, I'm assuming.
I'm assuming it's defense too.
Because Caruso, I think, is the best off-ball defensive guard in the NBA. He's an elite rim protector for his size. I think he holds opponents like more than 10% below expected at the rim. Now, obviously, there's context to those numbers, but it's indicative of something. Some of the best hands in the NBA. Extremely switchable. I do think Lu Dort's the better point of attack defender, though. I think Lu Dort is better on the ball, but I think everything else is Caruso's wheelhouse, and that's why I think he's the best guard defender in the NBA because of all the other stuff besides guarding at the point of attack. So, yeah.
Are Caruso and Dort going to be the most targeted, like, kind of release valves in the playoffs this year in the West? Like, we're going to make Caruso and Lu Dort beat us.
To Ox's point, not to Octaron's point, yes, 100%. They are living with Lu Dort at the long ball line. The Clippers, if they play them, they are living with them. Minnesota, any of these playoff teams, Lu Dort has to make shots. He has to.
No, Russell Westbrook, but
yeah, Russ too, I guess. Yeah, when he's on the court, yeah.
But I don't think that that's anything new, though, Mars. I mean, we all know that Russell Westbrook is, in terms of the game plan, like he's got to make shots. But Oklahoma City, I think it's going to be highlighted even more with Oklahoma City, considering everything that they do from an offensive standpoint and how good SGA is from an offensive standpoint. Yo, Lu Dort, you got to make shots. You have to.
He's been making shots for 2 years, so he'll be all right.
Triclops said J-Dub for DPOY this season is common sense.
I got a question. Like we got Oklahoma City Thunder as arguably the best defensive team all time. Why is their best defensive player? Well, Chet's their best defensive player, but J-Dub has been their most consistent defensive player all year, and I think he's going to be an all-league defender. Why wouldn't he be in the all-league? Why wouldn't he be in a defensive player of the year conversation?
Because they hate him.
Whoa, who?
The voters.
Chet or who?
No.
Because guys have been better than him defensively.
Mm-hmm. People want to ascribe the entire value of OKC's defense to 8 different people, and I think that makes the argument really messy. Typically, when you talk about great defenses, there's like a straight narrative as to say, this is the anchor. And there is no argument to say this is the anchor, because even right now, we could argue about Lu Dort versus J-Dub.
Yep.
We could argue between, Case and Wallace and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. You have the argument split across so much. And you know what? I don't even think the Thunder are mad at that. I think they would much rather be the best defense of all time as a team than to have one player win Defensive Player of the Year, and they're not that good defensively. They're a very locked-in team. They're very team first in that sense. So I don't think that's a team that's about individual awards. But I agree that the best defender on the best defensive team of all time probably should get some love in this conversation.
Well, they'll have multiple.
J-Dub's trying to get Lu Dort to win it. So,
Well, they'll have multiple first-team all-defense players and second-team all-defense players. So that would be their award. Chet would have run it. People have tried to push the SGA thing. I think that's just ridiculous. But
yeah, I seen Kendrick Perkins say that. That was funny.
MVP and DPOY in the same season. Yo,
Let's chill out.
I'm very uncomfortable.
He'll be the 4th player to do that, right? After MJ, Hakeem, and Giannis.
Yes, sir.
I'm running a poll right now. I'm asking you guys, who's OKC's best perimeter defender? Lou Dort, Casey Wallace, J-Dub, or Caruso? Y'all go let us know how y'all think and what y'all feel. And like the video after you do that.
That's a lot of names.
That's an amazing lineup.
Young Choco or Choco, Dark Boy, said, chill. You will be woken up this year about OKC. Stay on that side, though.
What side is that? Who do I have going to the NBA championship? The Oklahoma City Thunder. Just because I don't got them beating the Boston
You have them
Celtics.
losing. Yeah, you have them losing.
Yeah, just because I don't got them beating the Boston Celtics does not negate the fact that I still got them in the NBA championship, and I think they're a great team. But if you want me to stay over here on the quote-unquote hate side, okay, I'm over here.
I will guarantee the Boston Celtics are not winning the championship this year. I'm so positive about this. They're not winning.
You had Dallas winning last year.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
You kind of not hitting when you guarantee Boston not winning.
Okay, but my guarantees are way, way more reliable than
Merry
Swipe.
Christmas, Swipe.
All right, y'all.
Oh, okay.
All right, latest Swipe.
Little drive by as he put up the peace sign. Yeah. No, I just think their ownership group changing up and all the uncertainty around that is going to put a little bit of a cloud over that team internally. It's harder to lock in for a championship run when you literally thinking the second we win, one of us is getting traded. It's just a little bit harder.
Wouldn't that give us more incentive to win, though?
I would think
in theory, yeah.
Because if we win, we stay. If we lose, we might get shipped up out of here.
Yes. So I mean, that would give me more incentive to stay.
I feel like they win. Someone's getting packed up. Do you realize they're paying $80 million right now for Sam Hauser? Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, but Sam Hauser not going to be the reason they lose, though.
No, what I'm saying is, like, they got to clear up their cap sheet. They're the most expensive team in NBA history right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest reasons they're super expensive is Jaylen Brown. And trading Jaylen Brown, not that they're going to do it or whatever. I'm just saying that cleans it up. Look, these institutional investors, they only think about bottom line. They're thinking about money. No one bought this team for $6.1 billion to lose money every single year, man. I'm telling you, the people in the know. I know we haven't talked about it on the panel. I'm very disappointed about that because, maybe we just didn't want to. But, this sale of what the Boston Celtics did opened up Pandora's box, in terms of who they sold it to, how the sale went down, how the NBA feels about it, what it means for expansion. It's a whole other, we could talk about it for 5 hours.
Ping, next time you come up here, remember to bring this up because I want to talk to you about this, and I want to counter what you just said.
Yeah, I want to talk about it too.
Yeah, but we don't got time to get into it right now. But I got another super chat from Void Century. Void said, point guard Ron, shooting guard Jordan, small forward Chill, power forward Ox, center Dale, bench ZZ and Swiper, Gills Arena, Will Stadium, Bills Gymnasium, PC and 5.
I play the 2, by the way. I don't play the 3, but I could play the 3. I play the 2 though. But
fuck me, I guess.
Mars, you coaching, bro. You got the most important job.
No run for Mars. Parking. 0 burn for you, Mars.
Pimp named Slickback said, Pin, I know you're really locked into the draft. This far, what's your thoughts on, Kaman Maluach? Kaman Maluach from Duke. He looks like a special prospect.
Elite finisher. Do I got a minute to talk about this? I got a minute? Let me put it this way.
Yes, you do. You got a minute.
A minute.
I'm going to let you know when a minute's up, but go ahead.
Okay. He was in a refugee camp. Okay. Made it through there. He played his first official game of basketball in Crocs. Okay. The story of this kid going from South Sudan to Duke basketball and being one of the most productive centers in the NCAA is insane. He is young for his class. He is still 18 years old right now. I believe he's going on to 19 very soon. I think he should be a top 7 pick. I think he's one of the best rim protectors in the country. He's super efficient. He's growing as a playmaker. I do want to point out when kids learn basketball later, there is a growth trajectory that comes a little bit later too. Like we've seen with Pascal Siakam, Joel Embiid, etc. He picked up basketball at the age of 13. He's been working with, he came through the NBA Africa Academy, which just had their first prospect drafted last year in Over Shamshi. And I just think that, his incredible hands and here's what I'll say. There's a lot of 7-footers out there who play basketball because they're 7 feet. There's very few that play basketball because they love basketball.
It's been a minute.
Damn it.
Sorry, brother. But that's
That
good
was
stuff.
a good trial, man.
That's good stuff.
Good trial.
Yes, sir. That's good stuff.
You gave
We'll
us
get back
most
to
of the
him.
information.
As long as they keep winning, we'll have another opportunity to talk about him. But we got another super chat from Grandpa Town and Penn Vleet. Grandpa Town and Penn Vleet said, look up Ash Cash. Look Ash Cash up, Unc.
Don't look that up, chill.
Look that up, Unc. Penn and Ox and Swiper know what Tiana's game is? The Kyrie of her scene. Where would Giannis rank all time with another chip?
I don't know.
I don't know, but Doc Rivers the greatest coach ever.
For 2 championships?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I don't even know where Giannis ranks now, so I couldn't tell you anything.
Right.
Young Choco Dark Boy said, hot takes. Number 1, OKC is the best defensive team in NBA history. And number 2, Jokic is the greatest offensive player of all time.
I'm closer to agreeing with the OKC one than the Jokic one, I think. But I don't know.
All right, a super chat from Alan L. He said, shout out to Kawhi and PrizePicks for the $150.
I seen that, Alan. I seen that in the group chat. Shout out to you.
Mm-hmm. Sound like
now,
you hit.
Now when I see you in the hallway, it ain't just gonna be quarters in your pockets. You know what I'm saying? I could really get some, I can really get a good lunch this week,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Matter of fact, I ain't got to turn you over. Just run your pockets. You ain't got to flip them over now, Ox. Just run your pockets. Run it. We ain't looking for no change now because we know you got that bread on you. So run it.
Duke did it, said Ron. They don't know how Seattle Hoopers get down. Duke, don't even waste your money. Don't waste your time. They can't even conceptualize it.
Mm-hmm.
Mitchell Ludwig became a YouTube member. Shout out to Mitchell. And Young Choco Dark Boy sent through a super chat, but it didn't have nothing attached to it. But shout out to Young Choco Dark Boy and Mitchell Ludwig.
Complete this sentence for me,
Chill.
Ron.
All right, that Texas game on right now, chill. Madison Booker about to go crazy.
Yes, sir. I'll see you dudes tomorrow. Out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, chill.
Ron, complete the sentence for me. The toughest Hoopers come from
Washington.
Not Baltimore. Cap.
No. Baltimore can't fuck with us. Hey, buddy in the chat to tell you that.
Derek Queen has something to say about that. That game winner. Damn.
So Derek Queen's their representative.
KD, Derek Queen, Jeff Doughton, Markelle Fultz. There's a lot.
Hey, ask KD. Seattle made him. Not Baltimore, DC, wherever he at from over there. Not Maryland, not Texas, Seattle.
Nah, shout outs to DMV, man.
MP13 said Zubac needs some love. He gets no credit.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Dominique said, hey, Swiper, KD scored over 25 versus the Cavs. You said he won't.
He scored. That demon pick would have hit.
Mm.
He had what, 40?
Rod said the Lakers lose by 30, but we talking about Fred.
Oh yeah, he is the Bulls fan. Josh Giddey had like a damn near quadruple double. Shout out to him.
Man, shout out Matas.
Steals and Matas, 31 points.
Shout out Matas. I told y'all Matas was like that. I told y'all. Hey, he about to start getting busy too. He just now.
Me and Ron, what? I had Matas as my rookie of the year. I think both of us did.
Yeah,
we had Matas as the rookie of the year. No, that didn't work. But
well, you know.
Yeah, he wasn't playing early. He wasn't playing early.
I can't wait for next season. I really want to see the young fella in OKC. I want to see him play.
Topic, or however you say it the real way.
Topic. I don't know.
Topic.
Y'all know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah, Nicola Topic. Dominique said, Mars, you see my rookies done in Oso? # rookie of the year.
The energy they bring, I think, is big for Phoenix. Like, all season, they've just looked lethargic. But you have these guys out there who are doing all the little things because they really don't have much choice. You can see it makes a difference. It's way better than having, with all due respect, a Bradley Beal out there who is a better player than them. Just I think the fit with those guys who are more willing to do the dirty work.
You seen their record
more
without Bradley
valuable.
Beal when Durant and Booker play?
I have not, but I'm assuming it's overwhelmingly good.
It's overwhelmingly good. Yes.
Well,
Brad Beal.
shout out to
definitely a
Dunn and
problem.
also. They're gonna lead the Suns out of the play-in into the playoffs.
Okay.
Dribble Warrior said, "Swiper, you lied. There's 13 episodes, not 12."
We've been new Swiper a liar, man.
I'm pretty sure we give Swiper the benefit of the doubt and just say he misspoke.
Nah,
Taco 101 said, "Gifted took Penn's fake chain and will never recover."
Facts. Gifted Fred the hell out of
Deboed you.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, okay.
Damn. Penn, you need me to get that chain back for you?
No, I'm good. I can do it. I could do it myself. Don't worry.
Yeah, he's admitting it got taken. He's admitting it got taken.
Yo, I had to go back and listen to that playback stream and be like, why is my mic suddenly not working? Like I'm screaming too. I'm screaming.
Fried you into oblivion. That's why.
That's just dominance.
Gifted hired them friggin' hackers to drop.
You gotta. And if you want your chain back, you got to touch down in Detroit and get your chain back. You got to go to the D and get your chain back.
This is a PSA for the PCL, for the judges. Shout out Ticket TV. Shout out Low. Shout out Fluent. Do not let people just scream over people and assume that they won. Screaming over people is.
How do you know the judges didn't use that as their main tactic?
Nah, see, here go Penn again. Acting like you weren't fried. Also, Real Talk said keep Gifted's name out your mouth. Because you didn't have that same energy when he was on the stage.
I definitely
I was meant to tell you 2 hours ago.
Detroit
definitely had that same energy when he was on the stage.
I ain't hear the energy. I ain't see it. I'm real
talking. You got real quiet when Detroit put up on you though.
Yeah, it was crickets. I don't know.
You was talking that tough shit till Detroit put up on you.
Go back and actually watch that stream and see me screaming into my mic.
We was there.
Why I ain't here?
You was so loud until Detroit put up on you. That's all I'm saying.
And then Gifted left, and all of a sudden you was loud again.
The way Playback.
Oh God, you was talking again.
Yo, the way Playback. No, it's not Playback's fault. What I'm saying is the way the audio works is when one person is screaming and another person is screaming really loud, it automatically adjusts the volume. If his mic is 8-9 decibels, this is the accusation that Swiper always comes into. Remember when Swiper just screams over everybody? If Swiper wants to get real loud, his mic be like up here. Okay, you see how loud I just got? Yeah, we can all do it. I just think it's an audio nightmare. Okay, to make your mic so loud. You know what I'm saying? Like when one person is screaming and the other person is trying to say stuff, but their mic is just not being able, they're literally cutting out their mic. It sounds like you're getting cooked. But if both people
that's what happens. That's what happens when Gifted microphone was made in Detroit. All right. All right, Penn.
My mic was made in Canada, so it
is
different.
Penn is different. What I'm saying is, Penn, don't even feel bad. You ain't the first person I've seen fold under that Detroit pressure though. You know what I'm saying? If you wasn't in Indianapolis, then you don't know what I'm talking about.
You're not gonna be the last.
What up, though?
I dock people.
You ain't the first person I've seen forward under that Detroit
I dock
pressure.
People points for lying, what up, though? And I dock people points for ducking out before another person can respond. If you want to have a real debate with me, you say your shit, and then you stand there and let someone else say their shit. This kind of drive-by shit.
You gotta be dominant.
You're not tough. You're not tough if you drive by. If I come here and I scream obscenities at you for 2 minutes, and then right when you're about to respond, I run away.
He went up 40 and didn't want to play garbage time. That's what happens. Like you were still out there trying to get shots
cheddar
down
in the walls. Okay, he put cheddar in the walls. Okay, but shot up the whole damn place, shot up the windows, shot up the walls, and then left. Okay, it's a whole bunch of nothing. It's a nothing.
All right, y'all. Money sent through a super chat. Money said Frederick Edmund Van Vleet is in DPOY combos.
That's the middle name. I don't know.
But I don't know who said that. But I mean, he could be in the conversation.
No one said that. People just said he was smart. I said he was smart.
That's not a conversation.
He could be in the conversation. I'm gonna tell you.
People
are saying the Hakeem and Fred Van Vleet stuff is a conversation. That's what they're saying in my replies. So.
I'll tell you what, though. There's a couple of years where I would have put him second team all defense for sure. Couple years.
Fred Van Vleet has 17% of the votes so far on my Twitter poll. Which is once again not the most lopsided poll I've ever put up. So
shout out to 17% of your followers.
The most lopsided poll I've ever put up was the James Harden.
Must be them 60-year-olds you were talking about.
The what?
The people. James Harden versus Tyrese Maxey playmaking. It was 95-5 in terms of percentage. So
MP13 said, Penn just wants to talk today. It's one of those days.
No, he couldn't talk when Gifted was up there, so he had to get off today.
Finn Jones said Lester done shit.
Right.
Shout out all the Lesters out there. For real.
Like Penn's mic. Not you, Penn. You're not a Lester Penn, but your mic is.
All right, y'all. And last but not least, Zigsaw Puzzle said it's amplifiers, Penn. Is that what it is?
Those Detroit amplifiers.
All right, y'all. We're going to be back tomorrow to talk more NCAA hoops, obviously talk NBA hoops. Y'all tap in tonight. We'll see what's going on, and we'll be back to talk about what happens in between now and then. In the meantime,
Merry Christmas.
Madison Booker playing right now, y'all. Turn your TV on. Turn your TV on.
James.